So let's start off by talking about the Halloween party a bit. But I want to talk about, I was talking to Joe about one thing. Here's something that I've noticed about keeping tabs on relationships. So I had I got to see my buddy Scott and his wife Sarah, who used to live across the street from me. I'm quite fond of. They came
Dallas.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. What is that movie?
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
So they came as people from that movie, which is a big deal movie. I haven't seen it. I want to see it, but I haven't seen it. And they moved away probably 5-6 years ago. And they made a comment like, "You still haven't seen our house." And I was like, "Well, you still haven't invited me."
I know the vibes.
I know the vibes. You know, and I'm like, and like, not that I'm mad with them. They actually invited me for the a weekend in November, and we've already booked the date. And
great,
you know, it'll be fantastic.
I like them. They're good people.
They are good people.
They like moved out and moved in.
Yeah.
They have great costumes.
Yeah, every year. But like that being said, I have noticed this like trend. To me, if you're holding someone accountable for not coming to visit you, and simultaneously you have never invited them to your house, those two things to me can't exist.
I agree.
Okay. Because I feel like more and more people are holding me accountable for not just popping up at their fucking door on a Wednesday and just saying, "Boy, am I hungry?" Hint, hint. I could really go for what's in the fridge, you know?
Well, we have text nowadays. You can invite yourself. Well, I would never invite myself.
That's the thing. It's like, who does that? Who invites themselves? Like, and he hit me with this. Like, my door's been unlocked. My door's been open. You could have came by any time. Like, dude, I'm not gonna. You have a career. Your wife is a stay-at-home mom, which is just as respectable to some.
Jesus Christ. Fuck, there it is.
Brutal.
But you know, and I love Sarah to death. But like, but you know what I mean. So like, I'm not just gonna just pop up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the kids' schedules are. I don't like they are feeding the chickens and all sorts of country ass shit. I don't know what is going on. I'm not just gonna pop in and be like, "Hey man, I'm here for lunch." But I do feel like I get held. I'm often held to that. Fucking Nick and them, they went out. I see Instagram live stories. Nick, my buddy Nick Gomez and Chucky O on this fucking boat playing Pop fucking Smoke at the Inner Harbor. And I'm like, oh, not only are all my friends together, but you also stole my playlist and didn't have the fucking common decency to invite me. And I bet you if I pulled up and I was like, "Hey man, what's up with me not getting on a boat?" You can come anytime on a boat. Okay, cool. One day I'm just gonna be sitting in a boat waiting with one of the life vests on and swim trunks and like glasses and like heavy suntan lotion
over the whole head.
Yeah, over the whole head. Where it's like,
the whole head.
It's not rubbed in at all.
Yeah, dude, that's a move. Just the fucking sheen of white, like bukkake on your face.
Well, not like that necessarily, but
That's what it looks like to me.
You know, I went crazy at Krispy Kremes more so.
Got a nice glaze.
Yes. That I'm still okay with the metaphor working for that. But the Halloween party, it was actually technically the 11th. We got the date wrong on it, but it was a good time for me anyway.
It was a blast. I had an incredible time, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of the time you have two groups of friends.
3.
You have two groups of friends that I immediately recognize. You have your work friends and the collector friends, we'll just call it.
But then I also got like shoulders in them.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
So, in a lot of it's you know, it's like boys and girls at a 7th grade dance, right? But this year, I don't know why I don't want to use the word tension, but everybody got to mingle a lot quicker.
So I agree.
Well, maybe it's like multiple times now we've seen each other. So
well, I'll be honest with you, like there were people here that
strangers,
maybe, but
I don't know. We started a lot of it. We were just busting Bobby's balls, and everybody busted his balls.
Everyone can get
Everyone bonded over it.
Yeah, it was a great time. I'm glad I had no obligations for anything on Sunday because it was a rough day for me, especially the first half of the day.
We had to we actually went and had to go pick up the kids at a certain time. We still had to get our walk in, and I can tell you that one hurt. even though I was okay, I wasn't hungover. My body
your
definitely
body wasn't ready.
feeling that. And then we had the Zoom meeting that afternoon.
Okay.
And then we got 2 black boxes and crushed them.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Domino's, not wine. The Domino's black box. The deep
Okay.
dish.
There we go.
I thought you were talking about the black box wine.
No, I only say because you were like
That's
you would call Pan one time. You're like, I got that black box.
Yes, bro. That
I like
pan
that. I like
pizza
their
is a
pan
shit,
pizza.
bro.
It is good, but yeah, it was like
awesome.
I agree though. People there was largely because I mean like my group of friends that I grew up with are dwindling away either from death or from just time.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, like you have more than anybody I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you truly do.
Well, so it's pretty much just, I mean, that comes anyway, so to speak, is Shoulders and Dante. Mm-hmm. And Dante couldn't make it, so it was just Shoulders, and he came late as fuck per usual, and even if he comes late as fuck, I'm like, that costume didn't take a whole lot of time. So what the fuck were you up to? But
Some people are on different time schedule, bro.
no, for sure. But yeah, like. I do agree. Like people got like the 2 groups were mainly collector people and my work buddies. Like, and they just like I'm always nervous about that. Like just about people being able to kind of overlap. And like the first moment I like looked around, like I was like, holy shit, everybody's just fucking talking and chilling and drinking and hanging out. And I can't help but think that maybe it was because people just haven't got the opportunity to get together, like and they were just like, we're really enjoying being social again.
I think that's part of it. I mean, that was the first thing I've done, gathering.
Me too. Outside of a wedding.
I mean, like seeing people at a con, when we were going
This weekend.
Well, yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, this one coming up.
But even that'll be different. That'll be a different vibe.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was a great time, man. It was a great time.
I was so happy that so the Pinkertons came as plague doctors, and after coming off of COVID and everything, like it was
it a little on the nose, Bobby?
But it was just, do you know what they kept in those beaks?
It's fucking herbs and spices.
Yeah.
Like KFC.
Yeah,
to keep the smell down.
Yeah, to keep the smell down, and they thought it would filter the shit in the air as well, the herbs and spices.
I'll tell you, Kelly couldn't see it at all out of hers. Like we put the anti-fog shit on the lenses. Mine worked like I could have worn that a lot longer than I did, but hers, like I had to guide her around by the arm.
Yeah, it was Laura and I had already discussed that if you guys didn't win best costume, you were getting our vote for best costume, but then you ended up,
there you go,
taking home the win.
Taking home the win. Put the trophy in the trophy case, man. Trophies. And I got no awards for that. Well, yeah, they do. So.
And you know what? Brink always comes with like a cheap ass,
but it's the thinker's costume,
thoughtful and fun costume.
Did you see Brink's costume?
I don't think so. Not on Instagram. I didn't see it.
I'll show you his picture. It's so clever, and
and then I'll let you describe it. But yeah, Baltimore Brandon, haven't seen him in forever.
Oh yeah, it's been a couple of years.
It was nice to see. Like I love him and his girl an awful lot.
Fucking Ishi. He's wearing a red hoodie and like, is that a fucking like a handle for weightlifting for like a cable machine?
He made all that out of toilet paper rolls and like a macaroni and cheese box.
It's a little triangle like spray painted somewhere in a little fucking basket with a tiny plush ET.
It's great, but it
looks
so
like
clever.
it's been like touched wrong.
I showed it to Jana, and Jana was like, "It's out of scale." But like, I'm trying to.
Awesome.
But they came as stick people. My buddy Luke and my other buddy Gonzo came as a priest and an altar boy,
bro. That shit, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
They won best couple. I think
they did. Who was the one with the priest, the black outfit on?
My buddy Luke.
Okay, I spoke to him and had a whole conversation, and either he didn't have the gimmick up, or I didn't notice it.
He had a Pringles can attached to his pelvis with a McDonald's like ice cream sundae top.
Okay.
Glue taped
okay.
on so it looked like a fucking huge dick underneath his robes and you know what I mean, and like, you know, it was funny. He came at first, so to speak, by himself, right? And he just walked in like that. I was like, oh, okay, that's clever. And then when our other buddy Gonzo showed up as the altar boy, I was like, oh, okay, I see. Shout out to Gomez. He just had the biggest step up. Because he just had the last year, or the last time he came, he didn't. And he'll say, "Oh, I didn't know. I misread the situation." But he came with just a Robin T-shirt that had a cape hanging off the back of it, like sewn in.
He got drugged.
This year he came as like the whole Sub-Zero, Scorpion, him and his girl.
Nice.
And then there was another one, my buddy Timmy and his girl. Timmy got worse costume. It was just a Nosferatu mask over like his fucking Sunday gear. Yeah. And then his girl is fucking Samantha. She's super fucking fun. Like every time I hung out with her twice now, and she's just one of those people that's just like, she's a good party member. She's always gonna be smiling. She's always gonna be having a good time. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's good for the vibes.
Yeah, I loved her. I mean, I walked in. I'm like, yep, that's Wednesday Addams. There was no doubt.
Yeah, looked just like her. Looked just like her. Yeah. And she was I haven't put their names out there, so I think I can say this, but like all she does, like recreationally, like she's a stay-at-home mom also. So she handles her mom duties. I'm not talking about why she's doing mom duties, but like when mom duties have been put to bed, all she does is edibles and listen to the baby.
Hey man,
and I fucking love that about her.
Just enjoying life, bro.
Listen, not everybody can be the same kind of gangster, Bobby.
I know. So I talked to her
different kinds of gangsters.
I talked to her at the party a bit. I was like, "What do you think about all this hot water the baby's been in?" She's like, "It's great." Like, you know, we had this whole like conversation about it, but you would never think in a million years to look at her that was like her lifestyle. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Every time I have to get close to these Halloween parties, and like people back out last minute, you know what I mean, which is common. But then I just start thinking, like, man, like I don't know if I'm gonna do this shit again. Maybe this will be the last one. Maybe this last one.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while.
But then you have it, and everybody has a fucking blast, and it's like, man, I'm gonna keep doing this shit because it's just this vibe this year is this is in my top 3. Just like it was like all the fun and all the antics. Nobody got hurt, no drama. You know, and everybody was like happy, like big smiles on faces, like the whole night. It was heartwarming. So yeah, shout out to everybody that came, so to speak, and yeah, I will look to expand. We didn't go too crazy.
Setting up for Skullfest then?
Next year, probably. Yeah, next year. Yeah. So. Joe, you got your coffee first because Chris was late as fuck.
I was late as fuck. I was like, I was talking to Shoulders about like, what's your day planner look like? Do you circle things or highlight things? And I apparently circled what I was supposed to highlight. So that's on me.
And Shoulders' wife Sherelle came as a dominatrix and gave me a show with Laura for about 10 minutes of her just whipping Laura for about 10 minutes, which was a good time.
Good times?
I just pulled up a chair and just sat. And everybody else was like preoccupied with something that was going on in the other room. So it was just like, it was a nice little show.
Private show.
I'll tell you what, one of the funniest things to me from the party was, you know, how many kids Bobby and Laura put like, I don't know, 10 categories, 10 categories,
Yeah.
Best costume, worst costume, scariest, sexiest. And you know, a lot of us don't know each other's names, so we're just writing down like
the costume name,
like boner preacher, and things like that. Just those names were just that just had me belly laughing.
The shit that was, it's always good, and especially like the people that aren't geeks that are trying to figure out the geeky shit.
Yeah,
I mean, they called me they were like a Joker with no makeup. They call, you know what I mean? Like
Bobby had a very comic accurate kingpin.
Yes,
even had the little blue.
Yeah, very color accurate.
You did. Like I said, once you took it off, you look like a third shift riverboat casino captain or something.
And then
or like you worked at Disney but you got fired, so you just
I had a pinky ring, so I had the cane, the whole bit. But yeah, there was another. I want to talk about Phil real quick.
Carnage.
Yeah, God bless Phil, man. Phil put so much time in it. He won most creative and scariest. So nice. I think he was very happy, which I'm happy to see it. But I'm gonna tell you, it takes balls to do, because he works it. But I mean, that's a unitard. Yeah. I would never, you know what I mean? But like but he like diddied it up with like it was. I think it was a regular Carnage suit, but then he diddied it up with like black electrical tape. And
he made like the axe and then all the big tentacle
shit hanging off of it and all. Like it's just like God bless him.
So follow up on something from last week, and I apologize for not writing down who asked, but I was asked to fantasy book Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson in a feud. I will say this has been an interesting wrestling week with timing. Like SmackDown Friday nights normally on Fox proper, like even you can get with your antenna, so it gets huge ratings just because it's a non-cable show. Well, due to I think Major League Baseball playoffs, they moved it to FS1, so it was going to be a little bit of a different time, not same time slot, but it was a different channel, which not as many people have. And I know a lot of people like, well, wrestling's not on tonight. I guess we'll watch the baseball game or whatever, honey. Or honey, the TV don't change from Fox. It's either Fox or Fox News, baby. That's all we watch it. Well, AEW has a show that comes on right after theirs on a different channel. So SmackDown, WWE decided they were going to run 30 minutes unopposed. 30 minutes commercial free to cross over with the hour that AEW runs. I can draw a chart if anybody needs it. Well, AEW said, okay, well, fuck you. We're going to put on some pay-per-view level matches on YouTube for free as a bumper to our hour show. Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki had at least as good of a match as Omega and Danielson did, and it's for free on YouTube. It is an amazing Japanese style stiff ass fucking wrestling match. It's incredible. Go out of your way to see it if you're a wrestling fan or think you want to be a wrestling fan. And if you need a starter pack of fucking Japanese wrestling matches to watch to understand why the fuck these matches seem structured strange, like why do they stand there and look at each other and wait on them to fucking chop each other? Because that's just what you fucking do in a Japanese match. It's fucking great.
Copy that.
Different format.
So the way I would book that, all right. So they had their one match. Right now they're doing different things in different parts of the world. Kenny Omega is currently the AEW champion. It's been someone named Hangman Adam Page. Yep, that's his name. He's from Church Falls, West Virginia, and runs a fucking cowboy gimmick, so that fits just fine. I believe sometime in the near future, I think Hangman's going to beat Omega. He's going to kick out of the one-winged angel, which is Hangman's finishing move, which is you're on his shoulders. He grabs your head in one leg and then does a layout sit down with you. Nobody's ever kicked out of it in America. So I think Hangman's going to kick out of it. I think Danielson's going to turn heel at some point in time. So him and Omega would both be heel. Okay. At that point, I think Danielson is going to beat Hangman, and Danielson's going to be the one with the title.
Okay.
All right.
And then through that process, and this may be years. AEW is great at building long feuds. Hangman gets beat by Danielson. Danielson's heel. Omega leaves his clique, the Elite, the Super Clique, as a baby face to try to. I'm serious. This is all.
This is what it sounds like when people listen to us talk about nerd shit.
Yeah, when I tell my dad about a universal joint.
Yep. You mean like for your transaxle?
Yeah, your car?
Do you remember I did a skit? Do you remember that skit at all? It was like years.
Yes.
It was a real conversation I had with my father. Yeah. And I just hit him up and I was like, look, the universal joint, the ball peg system they got going on. Like I went to this whole spiel and I just let it sit for a minute and it was like quiet for a second. And my dad just went, Bob, I don't have the slightest idea of what you're talking about.
That's about great. Right. So, I think that I think Danielson's going to end up beating Hangman for the title, and then Kenny Omega, and I predict that Danielson will travel over the fucking world. He'll go to New Japan and defend the title. He'll go to AAA Mexico and defend the title. He'll go to Puerto Rico and defend the title. And Kenny Omega, through the process of the way things work, will end up becoming a babyface again. And the whole thing will be you've got to bring the title back to AEW.
There you go.
Because Bryan Danielson will say, I won't defend it at AEW. I'll defend this belt.
Gangster.
Anyway, hey, there's plenty of them out there. I'll defend this belt all over the world, but I won't defend it in the promotion. I think that'd be just a great fucking gimmick. So there you go. There's my armchair booking.
Like I tell my kids.
It took a week for me to think about that. I watched 2 episodes of Dark Side. of The Ring.
Oh, okay, it's back.
Okay.
It's back. It's on, yeah. I'm
Where's
actually
it
a
on?
week behind. So there were 2 episodes. One was on FMW, which is Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, I believe. They were the ones that originally did the exploding ring matches and the barbed wire. And I didn't know the story, but Onita, the guy who started the promotion, he was like an up-and-coming star in New Japan Wrestling. A freak accident. He was getting out of the ring and broke his fucking leg. Like
Just
you
getting
could-
out?
Yeah. You could see the bone broke his leg. And he couldn't wrestle at the level that he was. He was like a junior heavyweight champion. So he was a smaller guy, but, was doing all the athletic stuff.
Wow.
And so he started this promotion where he basically put himself in the center of it, ripping himself to shreds, blowing himself up. And that's like where ECW came from, which became what deathmatch wrestling is today. So it was that was an interesting one. And then the next one was, and I was not familiar with, a guy named Johnny Canine, who was basically a
Johnny Canine? Does he have a dog?
Well, no.
Does he have sharp teeth?
No, he was
What gimmick is that then?
he was a jobber in WWE.
A jobber.
Job boy. 1, 2, 3, pin me, pay me. Yeah.
Oh.
He's what's the polite way they do say? He was an enhancement talent.
Still doesn't sound right.
Okay.
No, that's arguably worse.
Right.
Well,
Well,
a fluffer, you might say.
if you compare it, well, yeah. So they're getting him ready for the big match.
Exactly, it's a fluffer.
And he worked some of the different territories. He worked for Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Jim Cornette's promotion. He was from Canada, but he was also like the leader of a fucking biker gang the whole time.
Like a real ass one.
Yeah, like a real, I don't remember what it was, Satan's Favorites or something like that. Bobby, do you have them in your gangster row? Do you know the signs for that one?
I don't know. They don't sound familiar.
Well, it's a Canadian thing.
They must have over 400 followers.
They must. I don't know if they're putting out any mixtapes. But anyways, it was an interesting story, but it was to me not their best episode. I didn't think. There's one on Luna Vachon. I don't know if you guys know what she is. You probably recognize Luna if you saw her. She looks batshit crazy. Had half her head shaved with a lightning tattoo.
I like her already.
Yeah.
Obvious kind of girl.
I haven't watched that episode yet. I'll watch it. I'll watch it this week, hopefully. Kelly and I started
They're going
playing.
to have one on China, probably, right? I would assume.
I don't know if they will or not. You'd think so.
Yeah, I would think
That's
so.
a pretty interesting story,
Right?
With everything that happened,
with Dark Side of the Ring, that's
all the way to the porno
Everything.
stuff, and after
Dead.
yeah, and then Dead. That's the darkest of all dark
Exactly.
sides. Kelly and I found the game.
It's a good way out for people.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to find. I'm on a console doing this to find a 2-player game for the PS5 that's not like a sports game. And you don't have to play online. Well, we found one called It Takes Two.
Oh yeah, dude, the puzzle game. Mm-hmm. Great. Good
So
find.
it's kind of a heartwarming story, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the couple, they're getting divorced, and they tell the little girl, well, she cries on these 2 little dolls she's made. Well, you become the dolls, and it kind of has a Toy Story vibe almost, because you're like little and you're playing, bouncing around her toys, and oh man, it's tough though. It's hard. Luckily, it's unlimited.
puzzle. Yeah,
it's unlimited lives.
What was that game that was for like? I think it was for Xbox. It was like all about like portals. Might have been called Portal.
Portals. It's Portals and Portals too, bro.
That was a fun game.
It is.
like a
The
puzzle
physics,
based.
oh, man.
fun game.
And
It's a great game.
who was that?
That's the Cake is Alive.
It's a company that owns Steam now.
Valve.
Valve. They're who put
Makes
that
sense.
out.
Valve
Yeah.
puts out
Steam.
the Steam.
Steam. Yeah.
It's clever.
That's why they make the money.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that shit.
We're playing through that.
I have
And enjoying it.
Afterward, though, I don't remember the name now. That's a good ass co-op game with a good story.
Okay.
That you guys should play. It's about like you're 2 dudes in the prison who helps each other break out.
Yes.
That didn't go the way I was
It's like
thinking.
Tango and Cash, but not.
I think I might
Who knows?
have.
You know that reference? You're fucking old.
I think I. Well, sorry for being old.
I mean, we're
think,
all old.
I think I stumbled upon that when I was looking for games. So that may be something we want to
It's
try.
a really good
'Cause
story.
This is like literally. It's a 2-player only. You have to have play. You can't play it by yourself. I mean, I guess you could probably.
No, the
you know,
puzzles
use
are
your
set up so
toes
that you have to
to-
do 2 people.
Yeah, like you have to stand here and do this, and jump on that whoopee cushion, and I'll go flying. Different shit like that. And I wanted to talk about sneakers, Bobby, because
Okay.
I noticed on the 4 Dummies a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, my wife brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've gotten two pairs of sneakers recently, actually, that I had to get my flex kit ready for for the nerds this weekend.
Let them know. Let them know what type of time you're on.
Yeah. So I just wow. Now we have the Cash Money sound. Can you get Master P just saying? Oh God!
I told you I'm still trying to get this little troll guy know. Hey, baby.
It should be a surprise. I usually change them every week, and we just don't know what the fuck is on there.
I know.
That would be great.
Trust me. It's. I can't commit to another weekly thing, but I do plan on cycling them through.
So I've been in and out of the sneaker game for years, and I'll be honest with you, it sounds funny. Sometimes I don't go places often right now, and even when I do, it's often for work, and I'm wearing hard bottoms, right?
In Alaska,
so I'm in,
or I'm going on and I'll wear sneakers on the plane, but
so I'm in the same boat.
Okay,
I'm in the same
so
boat.
you know where I'm going with this. It's awesome to buy sneakers, but you're like, I've got a closet full of sneakers I've worn once or twice because
I guess I'll take these to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right, exactly.
Bed Bath & Beyond drop. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel you. But at the same time, I'm like, we'll go out, like, we might go out, like, and I know we might go into the woods or something.
Exactly.
Like,
you don't,
I
don't want to wear those. So, I'm not going to wear these brand new white shoes to go tromp in the or whatever. So, I don't know, man. I just thought that was because people do like have nice displays of their sneakers and stuff, but there's a lot of real estate involved if you want to do that.
Yeah,
sneakers actually look good in Detox. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like with the box and then the shoe on an angle on top of the box.
Yeah. That would be
pretty sharp.
Yeah. Got the basement serviceable for the first time in probably this year. I'm not embarrassed to have people look at my basement.
Oh, you guys had to.
Yeah, because I had Brink stayed over this week, and I got some guys coming this week. So basically, the main room looks great. The back area.
Not so
It's
much.
storage 7B right now because I just had to put stuff somewhere. I didn't have time to get through everything. I sold some figures this weekend.
Wow.
Started the process of selling some stuff.
If at any time they want to stop through, mi casa su casa all day tomorrow, my door is just going to be unlocked. People coming in and out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let them know. I don't know what the plan is. We're going to Baltimore Friday. Yeah. Actually managed to secure a ticket. Shout out to our buddy Caleb. He's not coming now. So.
Oh no! Oh, because of the recent. I just saw. My wife pointed it out to me about some plane crash.
Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, and if you go to his Facebook, not to put his business out there, but man, like 2 people died in that plane crash. The pilot and
and a UPS,
his UPS guy that he
fucking heartbreaking.
That was tough, man. It's like the people you see.
But
every
if
day,
thank God he's safe. I shout out to Caleb. I didn't know. I had no idea, and I'm happy to hear that your family is safe. And I'm sorry to hear about your loss as well. But
yeah, so
I didn't know him.
I got his ticket from him. Although they put him back up, which was cool. They said they secured more space for TFcon, so they put the 2-day passes up again. I think they're still up, whereas. Otherwise, they were going to let people in the dealer room till noon.
Yeah, you were saying. It seems crazy.
It's crazy.
It's got to be a space ordinance thing.
Yeah, or a turnout thing.
Well, then, let's talk a little bit about this. The third party panel is at 1 p.m. on Sunday.
Isn't it normal?
No,
it's usually on Saturday.
It's Saturday at like 3 because we would normally do the
I guess
panel,
they're trying to keep people there.
The handy drawing, and then go do our group photo. So
I guess they're trying to keep people there.
Yeah. So big weekend.
Yeah,
ahead.
but like I don't know. Third party panel hasn't been the same for years.
No, and it's not going to be anything significant this year because everybody. I mean, the cycle
drop a bomb on you.
I think there's a chance though because there haven't been any of those other shows like those overseas shows either. So they theoretically could have something.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then.
But I mean, Keith and Fanstoys have both unloaded the clip this year.
That's true. But Fanstoys just doesn't care. They just keep unloading anyway. They're just like, yep. Here's another magazine we got laying around.
Yep. Let's load it to the brim.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend. I've been still playing Ghost of Tsushima. I'm literally like running around doing all the little Fox Den things and
sorting people.
And I'm literally leveled to the max on everything, so I rarely even engage combat. I'm just
run past people.
Well, no, I just press a couple buttons and it does these crazy cinematic. Everything turns black, and when I cut them, they turn red shits. And I'm just trying to get everything done in that game.
Get the platinum.
Yeah, and then there's a Legends Quest, and I think it's like a whole nother game built into it that I haven't even touched yet. So
You get your money's worth now.
get my money's worth out of that. I mean, it was I think it was $70 for that because I got like
It's like $470
what's that?
with a system.
Oh well, yeah.
Well, you get multiple games though, so it's not like you get
Sure.
like it's when you first get a system for a game. I don't know if people still do that. Like back in the day, like
That's why I got it to play Cyberpunk.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game costs you $70, but really it costs you $470, so
Right.
you can play that one game.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's worthwhile.
Yeah. So I guess that's seems like there was one thing I had, but might come up naturally.
Joseph,
So I'm still waiting for Pinkerton to sort me out with a PS5, but still,
it's getting tricky out there.
I know. There's no rush. Like I'm not rushed.
I've been checking.
Because no, it's funny because it's people as adding me about not having a PS5. I'm like, well, my buddy Pinkerton is looking for one for me. You can go at him if you want.
I mean, I'm
like,
just
you still don't have one. I'm like, bro,
I'm just gonna buy one if one becomes available. Would you
only-
rather have the disc or the online only?
I don't care at this point.
Okay.
I like just want one, dude. Yeah. The name of the game is I just texted them. It's a Way Out. If you want to write that down.
Okay.
It's great. I didn't play it. I watched her and Carrie. I watched the on stream that they played it, and it was fucking great. Great story and great ending. Let me go my notes.
Yeah,
and it has
what you
two
got?
different endings depending on who you want, because you both main characters, so like you can play out one ending or the other.
Right on.
So movie nights are on Tuesday. So I've already had two since last time we. How do you do it? Like this, right?
For the shows.
For the two, you have to have the pinky and the index finger up for two instead of a normal human being with the middle finger and index out.
Do I do that?
You said it was something about baseball. Or some
Yeah,
shit?
baseball. You're supposed to do it because
Yes,
so they can see from far away and not blend the fingers together.
They can see that you're a devil worshiper.
Yeah, exactly. I always thought it was, before Bobby explained it was a baseball thing, I thought it was just a
Yeah,
Bobby devil face thing.
yeah.
So I have had two movie nights. So it's been on the Matrix Keanu run. We did Matrix 1, 2, 3. So last week we did Animatrix, and last night we did Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So is that?
It's like
do people claim that's
No, it's not the
Kinda,
same
sorta.
universe, but like it's funny because it's like kind of a cyberpunk, kind of like in that plugging into the internet, and this fucking Keanu Reeves.
I forgot about that game. About that movie rather.
Most people do, but like I don't, because it's like a cyber dolphin at the end on a bridge with iced tea. It's like it's a wild.
Well, it sounds like your new.
It's a wild story.
Sounds like your back piece, tattoo back piece.
Yes. And then
And just put a Law and Order tattoo on too. Just
Yeah.
but yeah, some parts of it doesn't age well. But I forgot all the people that's in it. Like fucking Dolph Lundgren is in it. The fucking girl from Starship Trooper is in it. Fucking Henry Rollin is in it. I completely I completely like wiped that shit out. Takashi, I don't know if you know Takashi.
6ix9ine.
Not 6ix9ine. Like Takashi from Takashi's Castle. Beat Takashi from Japan. He's a big actor. He's in every fucking thing. But he wasn't it. But it's I say watch it just for the entertainment value and the fact that Matrix comes after this. But the fun part about that movie is Johnny Mnemonic in World takes place in 2021.
No shit.
Yes, never struck me till last night. I was like, this is 2021. We're in 2021 right now.
That's interesting.
Have we failed as a society based on the 1998 standards whenever that came out?
I mean, it's kind of a dystopian future anyway. But like, there's things that are similar. They're talking about Henry Rollins talking about too much technology and it's fucking people's brains up, right? I'm like, huh. And then they're talking about pharmaceutical companies having cures to things, or like people aren't being given medicine just because they don't have money. I was like, wow, yeah, we're there.
Yep.
And then just about corporate greed, and then people just trying to make their own life out of what they can and what they're given. It's interesting. But yeah, but it's weird because they're like have cyber implants and people have like robot arms and shit. And then at the end, it was Ice-T is like, y'all get your VCRs ready to record this. I'm like,
Nice.
and I give a side eye, like that monkey puppet face. Hello?
VHS tapes are making a comeback though. Like collectability.
yeah.
I'm gonna like shit on myself and regret throwing all those feature assets that I have away with a big
The clamshell.
big clamshells for whatever reason.
that like just crumble after. Yeah.
Yeah, all you gotta do is misalign that bitch one time.
Oh man, it's never gonna be the same. Like,
Never gonna be
just
the
pull
same.
the sleeve out. That's a castle with a dick on it. We can put it in a different case. I'll never know.
Animatrix is great. I haven't watched it in a long time. I remember liking it, but it's really fucking good.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out and haven't probably seen it since.
So it's in the same style. Like I don't know if it's a first, but it's in the same style as that one Batman animated.
Oh,
where
the
they have-
Gotham Knights or whatever.
Yeah,
They-
it was a bunch of different shorts with a bunch of different
Yeah.
animated animation studios, and then like the Star Wars thing that just came out, which is done in that fashion. I'm like, huh. I don't know if the Animatrix was the first people who did a collab like that.
Have you watched the Star Wars one?
No, I need to. It's on my list.
I haven't watched
It's
it.
just like different styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's different
Studios.
Different studios.
But like
yeah.
I told you that I've only watched the one, but like it's the most. It was the most
You
unique.
didn't watch all of them?
I know I
I
haven't.
still haven't. I'll be honest,
Okay.
I forgot about it.
It's
Like,
it's-
I forgot.
It's on my list. I keep seeing it. I keep wanting to, but like I need to keep my priorities straight.
It's like not a. This isn't a statement on whether or not the animation is good or bad, but it's the most unique animation I've seen in a while. Like I haven't seen anything like it in a while. The first, I only watched the first one.
Are you going to watch the other ones?
I've been meaning to. I want to at some point, but I'm not in any rush because it's like it doesn't further the story.
And
you
it's
know?
like shit you don't like anyway. You don't like anime.
Well, but I don't like. It's not. But But
It's multiple things.
But I don't like anime because it's animated.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah,
like
it's the style of the storytelling.
It's the storytelling.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's the part that drives me nuts too. Well, not that, but
You need that on the fucking soundboard.
that's the anime noise.
It's very different because they had like 3D stuff, which held up really well for being done in early 2000s.
Yeah.
Amongst animated shit. Well, for shits and giggle, we watched Expendables 3 because we watched the first two, and like it was like when we were scrolling, it was like, oh, we haven't seen this. It's not good.
No.
I don't know that I saw.
I
past
enjoyed
the
first
second one.
Yeah, exactly. There's only 3, I think, and
I'm
I
not
think
sure I saw this.
But
yes, I did.
But fucking Mel Gibson is a great actor. Just
He is.
fucking like
He
the
is.
movie is not great. Like the effects don't hold up well, but like
He's
the
a great
speaking
director, too.
Like, bro,
He's a great director too.
like you gotta separate the artist from the art. Man.
I don't
He
know.
is-
it's
whether-
hard sometimes.
No matter what you
Yeah.
feel about him, like his fucking acting,
In his fucking directing, like
I don't know as much about his directing.
like Apocalyptica, like is like that's the subtitles. It's subs. I did some subs.
I didn't finish watching that. I think I watched 10 minutes of it. I'm like, this is not for me.
That shit
I
is,
remember
like,
watching that.
good.
That was good shit.
It's like a cult. But then like and Passion, like to this day, that's
Yeah, I
my
watched that, yeah.
that's my favorite
I
devil.
did watch that one.
That's my favorite devil to this day. Oh, it's also subs.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
I watched
back to back
I
subs.
watched that shit in the theaters.
I did too, but that's still my favorite Satan to this day. Like just fucking androgynous, fucking sexless, ageless, fucking creature.
Seems about right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Mel Gibson, and I don't know, it may have been in the notes, or he got cast in the Continental, which is the John Wick prequel based on the Continental
I'm
Hotel.
sure he'll be great in that.
I
too.
bet you know, an old grizzled assassin or something.
I mean, he played that. I mean, he plays an old grizzled, like soldier of fortune type person in Expendables 3, and he was
pretty funny in that movie where he was like a father to Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I want to watch that.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking dick.
Yeah, the movie's not great.
oh, what's the name?
But- but he's-
the
he's
second
good
one.
in
So
it.
it's just like Expendables 3.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
My Baby's Daddy, is that it?
I don't think it's called My
or-
Baby's Daddy. Will Ferrell is like
Yes.
the father of one.
Right, but
Or no, he's not a
he's the
father.
stepfather.
He's the stepfather.
Yeah, maybe I
And
don't
he
know.
could, he could,
Maybe
he
called
could,
stepfather. Let me just look it up.
and like he could.
think that's something
He's
very
like
different.
nowhere near as cool as Mel Gibson. He's trying to like,
But
And then I think John Lithgow is Will Ferrell's dad or something like that. And they're on these polar opposites.
yeah.
I need to. I want to watch it. It's one of those many things on my list. That
Daddy's Home. Is it
Daddy's Home. That's it. Yeah.
sounds about right.
Yeah.
You ever heard his mixtape?
Who?
Mel Gibson's mixtape. It's pretty brutal. He
I
got
think-
some
I-
hard disses on it.
Yeah, I think I have heard it.
Yeah, pretty hard disses.
Unfortunately.
It's awful.
But yeah, I recommend it if you just want a dumb-minded, which is what we want, a dumb-minded action movies, fun romp that you just want to not have to pay attention to.
Right.
Just yeah. Ronda Rousey, and I don't know. It's really weird because it's a very different vibe in the first and second one. The first and second one is like bring old school like action movies or like people who are like past their prime now.
Right.
But like this one, like they brought some new young people in for some reason.
Well, listen, some of those guys can't walk, much less pretend to fall down anymore. So
Yeah. But
at one point, it seemed like that franchise was like, all right, let's just get anybody that has ever thrown a punch in anything. Let's see if we can throw them in.
But that was the fun part.
There's a new one coming out, I think.
a fourth one, really?
I thought there was five of them already.
You could tell he was excited because he went to his high voice.
I'm just like, a fourth one, really?
I'm just waiting on them to tie that into the.
That's my interest. You got my interest.
I think Phil put it in the notes one time.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to tie that into the Fast and Furious lore.
Oh, no doubt. Then we'll have some real heavy story on
What
it.
if it's in the same universe? You mean Expendables
sure.
and Beast Fast and Furious?
Yeah,
Why not?
Bro,
There's probably some
why
crossover
not at this
already.
point? There've been crazier things.
Yes, there have been. Like they went to space.
They did. In a Fiero.
Yeah, as one.
I mean, fucking Elon Musk sent a car into space, so it's doable. We've seen it.
that motherfucker sending Will Shatner into space. That's hard.
That was Bezos.
Oh, okay.
think he was
I'm
Blue
sorry.
Origin on that.
I'm mistaken the wrong filthy rich person.
You got your billionaires mixed up.
I feel like in general, Bezos is considered like the evil one, though, and Musk is like the eccentric one,
Yeah,
right?
I'd say so.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't keep track.
I think if you were like going off and like hunting
Kanye's
down,
the crazy one.
yeah, you go off to like hunting billionaires for sport at the post-apocalypse. Like you go for Bezos first before you go to Elon.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I wouldn't be able to pick either one of them out of a lineup.
Really?
Yep. I'm just tucked away from all that. Like I know the names and I know that like the Tesla's involved and you know, but like this
I feel like you know more about Power Rangers.
So I was just going to say this could be another fun drill of
Yeah. Well, what do you know about Bezos and Elon Musk?
All right, I'm just gonna name things like word association.
Start with one guy.
No, we're just gonna
In general.
It'll be embarrassing. I'm just gonna start saying things. Okay, Tesla, Will Shatner, spaceship, Amazon.
Okay.
That might be the end of it.
Who is that?
No clue.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, of course I know.
Okay.
That's Bezos.
Hang on.
No,
That's the other one.
that's
Hang
the
on.
other one.
Oh, well, I was going to show him both and have him.
Oh,
But it's fine. That's Musk.
okay.
Yeah.
Egyptian Musk.
Might be. Might be.
And watched another random
Yeah.
horror movie on one of the streaming services.
What was it?
The Last Exorcism.
I have that on DVD.
Not The Last Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, okay.
Which is a really good movie.
It is.
Why would you watch that? You don't like horror movies.
I got in a pocket when I was in the film business.
I think I have seen The Last Exorcism, though.
So-
It's kind of old, right? Like 2015, 2006.
yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, old.
Like, it's,
Well, it's not like...
no, it is. It's the same thing. It is 2015, and it is old, which is like mind blowing to me.
Yeah, but it's like, when I say that, I mean, I just mean it like it didn't come out in the past year.
Past like 3 years,
Yeah.
basically. But that was like 6 years.
It wasn't
ago.
great in my opinion. In my mind's eye, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like it wouldn't enter into my top 5 exorcism movies.
I didn't like the ending. So the movie ends and then it ends again. Like if it ended the first time, I'd have been cool with it. But it's about a preacher who grew up preaching. Like even as a 10-year-old, his dad was a preacher. So like he grew up in the church and he's like amazing preacher. And the camera's following him around to do a documentary. And he's like, I bet you I can preach about anything and make people just excited. And he's like, I'm going to preach about a fucking apple pie. And he started talking about making an apple pie and everyone's like, amen. And just fucking going off. And he's just like a real charismatic dude. And then he's like, but I think I don't even know if I believe in this shit. I just been growing up doing it all my life.
Yeah, it's been. I saw it when it first came out on tape or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm saying it for like a better term.
Yeah.
But like, so like I don't remember shit about it. I just categorized in my mind of you're not crazy about it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You might be interested.
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I'm saying I've already categorized it in
And
my
something you
head.
didn't
As
like.
I'm not crazy about it. Like I didn't hate it.
Okay.
Just like you don't need to watch that again.
Oh no. It's not something you need to watch again. But he saw that like people are doing exorcisms and people are fucking dying and he's like feeling bad. Is like I know this is probably all fucking sham. I don't want people to get hurt anymore. So we're gonna do a documentary about how exorcisms are fake. So he goes and does an exorcism, and it's up for interpretation whether this person was possessed or not. Just like he
could have been epilepsy.
Yes. Just like he wasn't sure because he was starting to be like, do I believe in this shit or not? But it's pretty interesting that's like the route of exorcism, like movies nowadays. It makes it more interesting. Not more interesting, but differently interesting when you're like, is it the devil or is it epilepsy?
And I still like when the devil's on board.
Or is it both?
Yeah. The devil only fucks with epilepsy.
Dude, it would be some shit he does.
Some sick humor.
Dude.
They'll never see me coming. It's fucked up.
I mean, I imagine this shit is scary. Back in like 300 years ago, and you have epilepsy, and you have no science, and you think you're fucking possessed, and then you get fucking drowned for that shit. That's goddamn awful,
What
bro.
the hell's going on with Harold? He's over there doing the Harlem Shake for no reason. Let me take a break real quick. All right, what else you got?
And lastly, remember I talked about watching Paper Tigers?
Yes.
I still recommend it. It's great. But I forgot to mention in my notes that like in the movie, they had both the N-word said.
Which happens in movies.
By not black people.
Right. No, which happens in movies.
And the FT word.
FT.
Oh, bundle of sticks.
Yes.
A British cigarette.
Yeah. And I was like,
what year was this made?
Last year. And I was like,
and it wasn't Dave Chappelle.
And it wasn't. And I was like, those words like threw me for a loop. First of all, the way they were used.
Yeah.
And like, second was like, they were used properly in the context of the movie. Like, it wasn't gratuitous.
Yeah.
And that I didn't hear about it. There was no fucking hoo-ha about that shit. Because, but then somebody at Netflix used the word in a quote and then got in trouble for it.
Probably.
It's hard to say where like the rules are, but I think that like sometimes sometimes it's important that this character is, homophobic or racist.
It's
it's
part of a character.
Yeah,
and people are like that in the world.
Yeah, it's like if watch I don't want to watch American History X and see all these Nazis say African American. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense for the character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like happy to happy that there was no mention of this part of this movie. Generally, this is regarded as a good movie. It's just like I was like I had an old face moment.
Yeah, I still like every now and then like I think I'll hear something that I just haven't heard in a while and it'll be somewhat jarring. And I guess that's a good thing. Honestly.
I mean, like sometimes words can come back, right? Like cunt was like a completely you can't fucking say that word ever.
I feel like it's the Brits
the Brits put the
I thought the Aussies did too.
Them too.
It's a normal ass word over there.
Yeah,
Jim Jeffries says
he
cunt
loves
a lot.
it. Yeah, and he's like
he brought that shit back.
He's like, I can't believe you say motherfucker.
It's true. It's much worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. A word I'm hearing more often and being passed through is retarded.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, because that word was not good for... it's still not good.
Mentally
but
ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more... I'm hearing it more again.
I have a bad gag. You ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our friend McFarlane likes to put his figures out multiple times with different paint variations.
Recolors, yeah.
That's retarded.
That's your one. You don't get any more today
on this show, right?
As I transition into my nerd week. First of all, I did want to ask: have you seen the movie called Ouija?
I've seen many Ouija
like
movies.
Ouija board.
Yeah,
I've seen many Ouija movies.
Which I feel like I don't know.
There was this one just called Ouija.
Yeah, I think it's relatively new. I think it's on HBO Max. I was thinking about watching it. I was just curious if you co-signed it or not. If you had seen it.
I have to see which one it is.
Okay,
because there's many movies.
I feel like the cover of it has her like kind of floating.
Yes.
I think
I remember. I like that one.
Okay. Do you have any like abnormal fears? Like, you meet somebody and they're like, I'm afraid of paper clips. Like I can't stand the sight of them or whatever. Like just some sort of like irrational
A phobia.
Abnormal fear.
That's abnormal though.
Yeah.
Not normal. Not like
Not like I'm afraid of the dark or I'm afraid of falling off of a building to my death or some shit. Or, you know what I mean? But like some weird fear. Because I have one.
Well, tell me yours and maybe
about your fucking wife walking out on you. You get the
but
sweats thinking about that.
That's a real fear. But I mean, like that's a realistic fear. Speed bumps. They scare the shit out of me.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm slowly getting over it. Look, I'm going to get into these.
Hey, real quick, guys. After we get done, I'm going to jack off and go get some Taco Bell. Do you guys want to come with me?
No. No.
Get it out of your goddamn systems.
Either you don't want to come with me? Okay.
No, motherfucker.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to come back, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's going to come once. I'm not going to come twice.
You're getting too old for that shit.
So I had a busy nerd week. I watched a ton of content. I watched a movie called the
Mortician?
No, it's the Alabamian, but of a place called Mauritania or some shit. Like this person. So
could you spell this for the listeners and possibly your castmates here?
So listen, I just tried it in my head. I'm not sure if this is accurate.
We'll get there.
All right. MaurantIan, and I know it's not right. And then put Jodie Foster. It's a movie. It's on.
I got it.
It's on HBO Max or Showtime. It's on Showtime. So it's based off of. It's quite good. I'm not sure. It's obviously trying to paint a picture, and either I could go on and on about this topic forever. I'm not sure how hyper accurate it all is, because some of it is super, maybe it is all accurate. I'm just a skeptical person by nature. But it's about this guy they put in Guantanamo Bay like a month after 9/11, because they tracked a phone call that was made from Osama bin Laden to him, and or it was on his phone. Mm-hmm. So they lock him up in Guantanamo Bay, and this woman from Arizona is a lawyer and takes the case pro bono for him. He ends up being in Guantanamo Bay for like 14 years. Like he was in there for like 7 years. She beat the case. Obama took office. Obama appealed it. He was in there for another 7 years. Wow. Was never charged with anything. Never charged with anything. And he was in Guantanamo Bay, and like the torture that he went through, as he describes it, is fucking awful. I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, it's so bad that like if I don't laugh, but like, you know, the same shit you hear, like, you know, keeping them chained up, like in a standing position. They call it the stress position, where you're like kind of crouched over, but you can't relieve your body. Playing heavy metal music at like the loudest, the volume go for days on end. They raped him. Like women went in there and raped him. Like made him eat shit. Like took him out and like put his head underwater, like, I mean, like in his boat and shit, like fucked up shit. And this woman took the case, fought the case. It was all based on this confession. He confessed to all of it. They accused him as being the guy behind it all, like the organizer, the guy who I think eventually became Omar Sharif. Don't quote me on that. But he confessed to all of it just because he was broken. Like they broke him, and he just confessed to shit. And he was like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. They just wrote this and asked me to sign it, and I was signing it. They told me what to say, and I said it. He'd had enough. And but it was fucking like, it's a gut wrenching tale. And he did eventually get out, and he's like living overseas now. Like he's married, has a kid, like having
Did he get paid off?
So I doubt it. But they show him. They show him at the end, like talking, and like it's just like, man, I have a hard, like, you know, and you never know, but I have a hard time believing that this dude was capable of it, because like he just seems like, you know, you get a read on somebody, like he's just like sitting there reading, like singing along to Bob Dylan songs. Like this doesn't strike me as a extremist.
I mean, not that he is or isn't, but like that's the point, though, isn't it? To blend in as a sleeper cell agent?
Yes, but he was never blending in. He always stayed over there. He was never like what they accused him of. So the truth is he did join the Taliban. So he joined the Taliban. He won a scholarship to Germany. He went to Germany, went to school, and when that was going on, the Russians were invading Afghanistan, and they were asking for help for personnel.
Yep.
So he volunteered. Him and a bunch of them volunteered to like fight Russia out of Afghanistan.
Yep.
And when that was done, he quit and kind of went back to his life. But his contact information was still like in the network.
Like a mass text group message.
Got to keep us in the group chat, the Tala chat.
They were on Kick.
The Tala chat. They hit him up. Well, basically, they said, we're sending a guy to you. He just needs shelter for the night. Can you do this for us as a favor? So he just said yes. And because he says he didn't know anything about what was going on. He was just doing it as a favor. So this guy came in, he met him that day, slept on his couch and left the next morning. And that guy got pinched. And instead of ratting out his superiors, said that this guy was responsible for all of it.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it was a great fucking movie. Jodie Foster kicks ass as usual.
Moral of the story is don't do favors with people.
Yeah, or especially not for the Bin Ladens. So I watched this other documentary on HBO Max called What Happened to Brittany Murphy, part 1 and 2.
She died, right?
She did die. I guess that's the short end. Roll credits. There was like it kind of got painted as an overdose. This documentary suggests that she was probably poisoned.
Wow.
Yeah, by her husband, who basically turned her career inside out. Because like she started off like in Clueless, and she was in like
she did
8 Mile.
Yeah, she did some horror movie stuff.
So
that would have been around that time would have been a thing that starlet of that age would have done.
Well, yeah, but she ended up in a lot of these B-list horror movies towards the end of her career, because she was in Girl Interrupted and shit. Like
she was like getting big.
Yeah, she was like on her way to being like a fucking like a Hollywood actress, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but then she ended up doing all these like B horror movies,
cash grabs, right?
Yeah, and it was because there was this man that she married. She dated Ashton Kutcher, and when they split up, she ended up with this other dude, Max somebody, and like he was like a like controlling, like fired her manager, fired her agent, like basically took control of her. And
red flags, bro.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this guy seems like a fucking nightmare. So he killed him. He seemingly killed himself as well shortly thereafter, like within a couple years. But yeah, I mean, it's a great documentary on her life in Hollywood and stuff, and heartbreaking as well. And there was all these rumors that they were looking for her to be Harley Quinn. She would have been a pretty fantastic Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I think she would have. Yeah. She would have done well in that role.
Watched another documentary series on HBO Max.
I'm hoping there's something about goddamn butterfly farms or something here, Bob. You're dragging me down.
No, I'm sorry. This one's called The Way Down.
Oh boy.
And it's
blowjob documentary.
Cool.
So it's spelled WAY, but it's based off of this cult. That's like a modern day cult. Like it's going on right now.
Like Scientology.
Yes, but smaller and lesser known. But it was based on this woman, Gwen somebody. They were all part of this denomination of Christianity called the Church of Christ. And she eventually...
I know that denomination.
They're pretty strict.
They're very strict.
And she eventually split off from them and started her own denomination.
They don't sing songs.
Called The Remnant. You ever heard of this?
Sounds hard.
I have not.
It does sound hard. But I've never heard of them.
No.
So she wrote this book called The Way Down, WEIGH, which was her diet plan book. And it was basically
okay.
And it was basically about portion control, but she tied it to biblical references. So it became like a religious way to lose weight without fasting.
Wow. Dude, she's an entrepreneur. She could make money, bro.
Yeah, so that's basically what she did, and then she started this church, and then this church basically became a cult, and started locking people in and holding people for kind of like, getting shit on you where you feel locked in, you can't go, or you'll lose all this stuff or get outed about this information. Anyway, she ended up marrying some dude. It just got worse and worse. They all fucking died in a plane crash. Like her, yeah, that's her hair. Yeah, she's got a big old head of hair.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah. So like she was the leader of the church, and then she had like the male elders, right? Because it was still based off like this very like traditional church where like a woman couldn't be the head,
Even though she was
but she wasn't. It was like the male leaders, and then to her, and then but it wasn't. It was
Right.
only a name only.
But it's weird to set it up that way.
So her husband, and the male leaders are all on this plane and all fucking die. Like they go down, and this is like in 2020 or 2019. Like this is relatively recently. Yeah,
God struck him down, bro.
I know.
Guys, you're on the same fucking plane?
But they said that like I mean, she's a fucking Looney Tune, and she said on there that like she compares in this interview. She's basically like, well, look, I'm gonna fuck the words up on it. I'm speaking from memory, forgive me, but she basically compares the positives of her weight loss program to the positives of the Jews that lost weight during the Holocaust.
The positives.
And
Wow.
the interviewer is like, you don't mean that, do you? And she's like just looking at him like blankly. And he's like, can you see how that could be extremely offensive to someone? She's a fucking nut.
So what happened to the church?
Her daughter's running it now. So it's still in service.
Jesus.
Indeed.
Oh, well, and I don't, you may not know this, but it's in Brentwood, Tennessee, which
Yes.
is where the money in Nashville lives.
Yes.
All
So-
the music stars there.
And her house is on this huge plantation. I mean, like, it's probably as big as Newmarket. Like it's, or like as, you know what I mean? It's
So it's
Carroll
so,
County, like,
so they get
huge.
money from donations.
yeah, she comes from money. But yes, they also get a lot.
I guess the book.
The book, merch, there's all sorts of shit to go with it.
So I mean, it's not a niche cult that run out of a house in the basement with some dude fucking everybody.
No.
This is a commercialized cult.
Yeah. And they're extremely organized. There's flow charts for the command staff. You know what I mean? Like,
Scientology Junior, bro.
so I watched,
Just watch him for 5-10 years. See what happens.
I watched another documentary on,
Gonna kick.
it's called 15 Minutes of Shame. It's on HBO Max, and it's hosted by Monica Lewinsky, but it's not about her story though.
She's actually pretty cool for everything I've seen her in.
It seems like it. It does seem like it. Oh no, she seems cool to me on a number. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? What that mouth do? But it's about these people that have been like got in trouble on social media and then like had their lives ruined. My only issue with it is that I agree with the overall message. I don't think they do a good job of showing how both people are affected by this on both sides of the political spectrum. It's pretty much all about like more left-leaning people that are affected, but like as we all know, like tons and tons of the right are affected by this more so. But it like this one was about the guy who did the 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer right before COVID hit, and then they were selling them for $80 a pop.
Yeah.
So that's not at all the truth. This guy, he is like he's a veteran. He served in Iraq and Afghanistan. He got out of the military because it was fucking with his head, the war shit.
Yep.
So he started becoming an independent dealer on Amazon. It's how he was paying his bills. He had a number of different like sites that he was following to see like up and coming trends for things to stock up on to sell, and one of them was hand sanitizer from people that were seeing what was going on. So he did buy a fuck ton of it, but he wasn't overcharging as much as they were saying, and a lot of it had to do. So when you sell through Prime, you have to have free shipping.
Yes.
So you had to factor your shipping into your costs and all this shit. And it's not like he wasn't making money. He was definitely making money.
Yeah, I mean,
but he wasn't
making money.
selling it like he wasn't doing like some Prince John shit. You know what I mean? In terms of how he was taxing people. The only reason why this information got out is because the New York Times contacted him and said, we want to do a story on how Amazon is fucking small dealers. And he was like, cool, because they're shitting all over us, and he has a hard time making his margins anyway. So like he's like, they made him take pictures for it and everything. They were like, look angry, look sad, look all, and they were just they already knew how they were going to spin it, and then fucked them.
Wow.
You know, and then like his information got out, everything, like death threats, the whole bit. He still can't sell on Amazon to this day, but Amazon is selling hand sanitizer themselves for like higher prices than he was selling. Like just a bunch of smoke and mirrors.
Wow. And also like the fact that he's a dealer is that he's a shop. He's an online shop. He's not like some dude out there scalping Transformers
on
on eBay, right? And then there was a bunch of others. There was one. There was
everybody upcharged. Everybody upcharged everything that was supply and demand. Every store you went to, it's upcharged stuff that you need.
There was a bunch of other ones. They were like 4 or 5 different ones, but they were all on one side of the scale. And I wish we could have seen some on the other side, because like there are people that like have said some
who got fucked wrongfully.
Yeah, well, I mean there are people and Fifth Column has covered it. Like some people that have like look, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, all that shit. Wherever you fall on it, I understand the debate, right? But I don't think that if you say either one of those things that you deserve to lose your fucking house and home.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people have, you know, so like, they don't go into any of that. And it's just a very one-sided look at that argument. But, but I agree with all of their bottom lines of like, it's like this tradition of public shaming. You know, it's like we get this we love it. Like it's like this shit is the 2021. We like to think that we're so evolved and so sophisticated now, and you know what I mean. Like we're the modern people with modern ideals, and we don't treat people terribly anymore and all this shit. But all this shit is, as they say, is putting people in this fuck where your head and hands go through the fucking thing, and people throw tomatoes at you all day. Like this is just the same fucking thing. This is tar and feathering of 2021, except maybe worse because you can't.
When you get tar and feathered, the people that saw it happen, and then it's over. The entire world.
That's why I stay off Twitter and Facebook, bro.
There was this one that was fucking ridiculous. This guy, so you know, like they say that like this was like the AOK hand signal was like a white power.
Yeah, that was fucking dumb.
But it wasn't like, and I don't think it's even true. Like I think what it means is like when people are doing this, it's for the 3%ers, right? And the 3%ers are like a militia group. And there are people that have joined that organization that look like they might believe in those ideals, but I also think that it's open to anyone. And it has
That's the problem with any organization where you can just say you're it.
But those 3%, because like it was like 3% of the people revolted during the Revolutionary War, and like these are like people that consider themselves like modern day patriots, right? Right. So
just real quick on that hand sign, the Dudley Boys have been using the 3D sign.
Yeah,
since the
19... baseball players have...
Yeah, I mean, this has been okay since I was born, as far as I know.
But it's also the 3%er. Like, the 3%ers do this. I say that to say this. There's a Black Lives Matter demonstration going on. There's a Mexican-American dude who's working for San Diego Gas and Electric, driving home from work, and he's a fidgeter. And he's got his hand out the window and he's just doing this and he gets stuck on this. Some other dude that's driving next to him takes a picture. It's like they're doing white power out of the fucking gas and electric vehicle during this march, puts it on the internet. He gets fired, loses his job, can't support his family, like the whole fucking bit. And the dude's like, I'm Mexican. Like that, you know, the whole thing was like,
sue for that.
Yeah.
Oh, he should. Also, this is like... You can't look at that.
We can't play the circle game anymore.
I like the description. This is also you can't look at that. But it was a good documentary if you're interested in checking it out. So then I watched.
I think it's one of those feel bad things, though.
It is.
Bobby likes to feel bad.
I do. I'm just a sponge of pain. So I was So I talked to. So I saw Saints of Newark, right, and it's fucking awful. And then
I got to thinking about that. I've yet to watch it. But my opinion, I think you went in with the wrong expectations for that film.
I'll talk to you after you watch it.
Okay.
So,
but you have to admit, last week when we talked about it, you said, I want to know ABC, and they didn't cover the things you wanted to see.
Yeah, so I made the same comparison to Joe earlier. Yeah. It would be like, and you got to see it, but like you're getting ready to go watch episodes 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. What are your expectations?
I mean, what I've seen in the trailer.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
and what do you think that's going to be about?
I don't know how to even frame it at this point, but
What characters?
Obi-Wan Kenobi's in it. I'm excited to see him.
I would think so.
And who is this goofy motherfucker? He looks like
that's a
fun.
distraction. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Anakin?
Oh,
Would you expect to see Anakin at some point during the telling of the
little
story?
kid because of the shadow.
Now, how would you feel if all 3 movies were about Admiral Akbar?
Oh man, probably wouldn't want to eat a lot of seafood.
Welcome to Saints of Newark.
Okay, okay, that's fair.
But because
that you don't like Admiral Akbar.
and there are some redeeming moments in that movie, but it's awful. It's really bad, and I haven't met anybody yet that thinks.
Well,
anything.
I know some normies that where I work with had watched it and were like, yeah.
Everybody's saying the
I
same
haven't
thing.
heard
By the
anything
way,
good about it personally.
Sidebar: some of my normie coworkers are watching Squid Game now.
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to watch it. I've got to watch it.
pop culture now.
Pop culture.
Yeah,
But so anyway, I bumped into Angry Gary recently,
Oh,
and he was like,
you record him?
I should have, but he was like, "Hey, did you see Saints of Newark?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What'd you think?" And I was like, "Man," and he before I could even answer, he said, "It's awful. It's awful."
That needs to be recorded. Fuck.
And he went on this whole rant about it. And he's absolutely right about all of it. But I say that to say this. He then said, "Did you see John Travolta's Gotti?" And I said, "No, because it's probably terrible." And he was like, "So I thought the same thing.
I'll watch that."
But then I saw it. So I watched it. And it's terrible. It's so boobily boo, googly goo. It's get the bun. And we get to bring the pizza out. I'm gonna get in a yellow cab. I'm gonna take it downtown. You fucking kidding me over here? Oh, get the pizza in here. Like it's just too. He's so bad. He's dreadful. Like Pulp Fiction's great. Grease, I guess. Whatever the fuck else. Like whatever people want to say about something. I don't know. Whatever the fuck else.
Face Off.
Maybe
Michael?
Oh God, he is a nightmare. He's on my new shit list after watching this movie. So I text Gary immediately, and I was like, "That fucking thing is terrible. All the critics are right. All the fucking." And he was like, "Oh, of course you feel that way." And I was like, "Hey man, have you seen Snyder Cut yet?" And he was like, "No, they got me the first time. They won't get me the second time." So we start arguing about that, and he was like, "But I'm sure I've seen worse." And I'm like, "Oh, I know you've seen worse because I just watched Gotti and it's worse." But anyway,
But he liked it.
He liked it, but so he told me and this other guy we know, Mitch, at the same time. He was like, "You guys should watch it." So Mitch watched it, I watched it, and he texted me. Well, I texted him. I said it was awful. Then he texted Mitch, and Mitch was like, "The only thing worse than this is Saints of Newark."
Wow. So I'll tell you something funny about that Gotti movie. They had high expectations for that. When I was in New York City, maybe the week or two before it was coming out, and that place was plastered with posters for that movie. And it might have done great in New York City because of who it was. I don't know, but
so I had to bust my ass this past week making content for the next couple weeks. Thank you.
Crazy.
But I got 32 pieces of content done in a week in order to make sure that nobody would skip a beat. Not that I need a round of applause, but it was a busy week for me. But I had a lot of this shit going in the background while I was working. So I watched Tortoise and the Hare, the Disney short. Wow, it's fucking great. It's fucking great, that thing. What a great story, Tortoise and the Hare.
Just like the old Disney shit, man.
Some of it I've been disappointed with recently, like the Peter Pan and the what was gonna be a little boy? What was
Pinocchio?
Pinocchio. I didn't make it all the way through. I fell asleep. But there was another one. Ichabod. I was like, man, God, it's so fucking boring. Tortoise and the Hare is still great. Still stands up if you're interested. I went to the studio to record the new song, but the mix is fucked up. Like my vocals are too high, the music is too low, and it's been a nightmare trying to get it fixed. But I am working on it. And I look, I like E, as we all know, but he's got himself a new girlfriend. And I'm just going to be honest about this story. So he as soon as I walk in, he's like, "I got myself a new girl." And he's like, "I'm really into her." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then he was like, "Yeah, fat white girl." and I was like, so I'm thinking thick, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I just want to get it out of the way. I want to get it up on Front Street just in case you see a picture of her, you don't judge me." And I'm like, "Oh, you mean fat?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, she's huge."
Wow.
And he was like, he was like, but I love her and she's teaching me shit that I don't know. He's like, you know what that thing is they call where they bring the cheese out on the plate? The plate has a name. He's like, he's like,
wow, charcuterie board.
Yeah. But he's like, I should have been dating fat bitches. Yeah, he's just funny.
Wow.
But
He's into it.
He was texting her the whole time. He got on the phone with her twice while I was there. I was only there for like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. I think he was distracted. And I'm trying not to feel a way about it, young love and such, but I got to get this thing fucking fixed.
Has he been responsive to your...
He could stand to be more responsive. So that's some other drama I got going on in my life. I wanted to have all this shit done by the time that this weekend hit so I could be stress-free. Of course, it's fucking not. Watch the Chappelle stand-up, The Closer. Loved it.
I think it's The Closer.
I'm sorry, The Closer. God, what an idiot.
You got
Biker.
9 Inch Nails on the...
Yeah, Biker. What an idiot. You know, from Troopers, Super Troopers, when they like show up at the bar and they're like in like spandex and helmets, and then like these guys come in and like that are meeting them undercover, and they're like, with like leather and jeans and shit. They're like, oh, Biker. I'm an idiot. So
so good.
So good. Anyway, I thought it was great. I think that here's the thing about Dave Chappelle. And I think he's the greatest, right? But here's the thing about him is that like you're Asian, Joe.
Yep.
Do you think that he's made fun of Asians before?
Yes.
You are white, Chris. Mm-hmm. You're Southern also.
Correct.
Do you think that he's made fun of white and Southerners before?
On the very first episode of his TV show.
I can say that he's made fun of white non-Southerners as well. I have Irish and Italian in me. I can say that he's made fun of both of those as well.
Yep.
Look, everybody gets a turn.
Everybody gets one. Like Spider.
I hate to say it. Like, and if you listen to what he's saying, it's not an attack. His bottom line
is commentary.
His bottom line is to treat people with decency, but he's pointing out some inconsistencies and he's pointing out some hypocrisy in some of the shit that's going on. And it's your turn. Mm-hmm. And as people that have all had a turn, it stings, but it stings and you laugh and hopefully you learn from it and grow from it and your perspective changes on it.
I mean, it's like South Park, right?
Yeah, exactly. The people that don't hold any punches, eventually one of those punches is going to land on your cheek.
Yep.
And if you celebrate the other punches, don't fucking start feeling away now. Take your punch, have a laugh, and move on. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was great. I thought it was outstanding. And the fact that Netflix isn't pulling it, in my opinion, has more to do with Netflix's future business model than it has to do with them standing behind anything. But Eddie Murphy just signed over at Amazon, and all like the things are in motion that I don't think Netflix wants to shut the door on, especially when this is like one of their most successful stream things ever.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of why, it's good that they aren't pulling it.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, it's a mixed bag. Some people hate it, but like it's not everybody.
Yeah. And the truth is that like, it just, you take your licks. We've all taken them.
Yeah, I love to take my licks.
So, do you remember when we went to Deep Creek and Selena, we were looking at these ducks that were in the pond, and Selena was like, yeah, I want to cut them open and see why they float.
Yep.
So this was years ago. So Jaina brought it back up recently, and she was like, you said you wanted to see what was inside ducks to make them float, like just calling Selena crazy. And Selena was like, but I do. And Jaina said, this is so funny, man. I don't know if I could be able to do it justice, but Jaina was like, they tread water. And Selena was like, oh, come on.
Like, preposterous.
Like, you're falling for that. You just fall for anything.
Is your middle daughter a flat earther, Bobby? Is that what this is leading to?
Not yet. And then for my last thing in my nerd week, I hugged Chris at the Halloween party to say goodbye. I will never hug him again.
Why?
I will never hug a man, Joe, where my head ends up on his chest.
My bosom.
Ever awkward? Ever again. Dude, when you hug a man and you got to put your head sideways
onto the chest.
Never again. From now on, it's hand dash and shoulder bumps.
Courtesy to like bend over, bro.
No.
Well, that's even more awkward.
If you put his hand on your head, though, that would have topped it.
If I had brought you all the way in, Bobby.
I made a note of it as soon as the hug stopped. All right, and with that, we can get into notes, which there are a significant amount of this week.
Wow.
I know. So we'll start here. Cowboy BeBop trailer. Did you happen to watch it?
No, I'm just, you know how I feel about trailers. I'm going to watch a show. I'm definitely going to watch the show, so.
That shit looks dumb as fuck.
Probably.
That shit looks dumb as fuck. I was bored from watching the fucking trailer. It looks like, I'm trying to put it like Hulk. You remember the original Hulk? Not the original Hulk, but the Hulk movie with Ang Lee did?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember how they did it with panels?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it was like, I know what you're trying to do.
I thought that was clever.
Well, it's worse than that.
Okay.
But it's that. I've never seen Cowboy BeBop. I can tell they're trying to make it look like the cartoon. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't.
2 on the nose?
It's off-putting.
2 G1?
It's off-putting. It's like, yeah, it would be
Where do
like...
the wheels go?
It would be... I don't know. I have never seen the anime, to be fair.
It's well loved.
I know it's well loved, but I have seen the trailer, and the trailer is dreadful. Like, I like I have seen the anime for Ghost in the Shell, but it was years ago. Mm-hmm. And even watching Ghost in the Shell now, I'm like, oh, I don't really like this, but I liked it back when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. But I liked the trailer for the movie, even though, you know,
You didn't like the actual, yeah.
Yeah, you know, this trailer was hard to watch. Forgot one thing on my nerd week. I watched the Bob Ross documentary that you suggested, and
it's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. It's very sad.
You just like want to get in the feels to leave us some shit.
Yeah, you know,
How do you not just fucking?
I like heavy shit, man. Anyway, back to and crazy, like that woman's hair.
Yes.
But yeah, I watched the trailer. Did you watch the trailer
For Cowboy BeBop?
Yeah.
I didn't because I don't care.
Oh God,
I mean,
it's like as they're like walking, like the background is changing. Mm-hmm. Like from like they're just walking like 10 feet, but it's like they're outside, they're inside, but they haven't gone outside or inside. Like the background is just changing, and I'm guessing that happens in the anime in some way that they're trying to reproduce. The acting looks bad, like. But I will shoot at some bail in this regard. My wife and I have been trying to watch some movies recently.
Okay.
This is where the Marshuranian or whatever the fuck it's called comes from, right?
Marshmallow Man?
And what's interesting, like my wife and I have very similar movie tastes. So like we either like it to be super goofy funny or really heavy drama or crime shit. So like, you know, and then we have a little bit on the outer range. Like she can do like rom-coms more than I enjoy, whereas and I can watch them, but more than I enjoy. And then I like the horror where she doesn't really enjoy that, but she can watch them. So we've been looking for shit to watch. She's shown me trailers recently where I've been like, stop that, and she just stops it, and I'd be like, can I guess what platform that's on? And
Really?
she's like, yeah. And I'm like, Netflix. And I've been right 100% of the time. And do you know why I was able to guess?
Why?
Because the fucking trailers are terrible. They're fucking terrible.
Do you think
They've always been
Netflix just
terrible.
can't cut a trailer?
I think it's possible that Cowboy BeBop might be okay, and it's just a Netflix trailer.
I mean, we've been talking about this since like the first Marvel
Daredevil.
series.
Yep,
Exactly.
Yep. It's still bad. Holy Christ.
Dude, you like visceral reaction.
I was mad. I was getting mad watching it. I was like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's entertainment for me, though.
G4 returns.
Yes.
Like with cops?
It's coming. It's G4 is coming back in mid-November. They have they put up a little trailer. They poke fun at the Switch. They poke fun at the PlayStation. They poke fun at Xbox.
On what platform?
I don't know.
Because like I loved G4, and then it became Cops and Cheaters.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I like G4.
Well, I
it
think
was Attack of the Show,
Yep.
and what they had a daily show. Olivia Munn was on.
I love him in
Yeah.
I watched it pretty much every day.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd watch because it was kind of a little bit of news is pop culture, and they were funny as fuck. I thought they were
and
funny
the tech
as fuck.
reviews and like,
Olivia Munn.
So I think that it has potential, depending on how they handle it and how they present it and what it's available on, and all. Like I think it's
especially now, like
it's poised right. Like I feel like it's the right time.
It is definitely right.
It was ahead of his time then.
Yes. So I don't know. We'll see. They didn't announce any programming, at least from this trailer. But
Who was in
Cops and Cheaters so far.
it's just like a little comedy bit. It's like a little skit. It's like a skit, basically.
It's the same hosts.
They don't show a single person. Nope.
Okay.
I do know that WWE star Xavier Woods, who has a very, very popular streaming channel, Up Up Down Down.
Left right.
Well, just the first part. That's the name of his, and he's just WWE wrestlers are on there all the time, and he got signed to be some sort of host for G4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This was about a year ago, I think. Now,
did you hear these Tom Holland remarks in regard to Spider-Man? So he was interviewed by
I was
EW.
adjacent to him. I didn't. Yeah, go ahead.
And he said, we're all treating No Way Home as the end of the franchise. I think if we're lucky enough to dive into these characters again, you'd be seeing a very different version. It would no longer be the Homecoming trilogy. We would give it some time and try to build something different and tonally change the films. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, but we're definitely treating No Way Home like it's coming to an end, and it felt like it.
That sucks. I hate it.
Or maybe they're finally giving up the ghost and letting Big Daddy Disney take over.
Yeah,
maybe he just can't say that.
I can't imagine that that's possible, but maybe. But I think that
maybe he gets eaten by Venom. Maybe that's it.
and then we're just left with Venom. Some people hit him, some people get him. Venom. Some people just won't go with him.
Did you watch Venom too? Some people did.
I watched it.
Phil did.
I went and saw it in theater. It was a fun romp, man. Non-stop action. There's very little like dialogue pauses in the movie.
But yeah, I was surprised to read that.
But it's honest.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it pans out. He did obviously leave the door open that it's possible that it goes on, but even if it does go on, they're gonna do it differently.
But at the end of the day,
another actor.
End of the day, he works there. He doesn't necessarily know the ins and outs of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, it was interesting to hear.
And I think sometimes
you would think they would go all the way through whatever this next phase is at the very least.
I think sometimes they give these actors, all right, listen, they're going to ask you this question. Tell them this.
Oh, they're all trained.
They're all, it's sound bites. But
this is a very definitive thing, though.
Yeah, and
it's not like vague.
And it doesn't sound like something that they would want him. It doesn't sound like something they would want to say. I don't know. It's weird.
We'll see.
Did you watch the Hawkeye trailer? The second Hawkeye trailer?
I didn't watch. Yes, I can't keep up. There's so many trailers this weekend. I watched a lot of them.
It seems fine. It's it seems like it starts in November and it's like in winter in the show, and I don't know why I like that.
It's based in Christmas. It's Christmas time.
But I do
in
like
New York
that.
City.
I don't know why, but like whenever I'm like around, like I don't know, like Batman Returns came out in the summer. But like I like watching Batman Returns in the winter.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
We're trained that way.
I'm looking forward to that, and part of it is it seems to take a lot of inspiration from that Matt Fraction story, the book that Paul C. lent us a couple years ago,
which is great.
Which was great. Yeah, even the logo's the same. If they do a whole episode from the point of view of the dog, like they did the comic, that'd be an interesting take.
Bisexual Superman. Which is big news.
Don't care.
Me neither.
I don't care. Stick it where you want, Soups.
And it's not the point that he's bisexual. It's the point that why are you making this? Why is this announcement?
So I agree, and it's not Clark.
It's one of his kids.
It's one of his kids. But,
okay. If you've met teenagers, then
yeah, for sure. But also, the headline is Superman is bi.
Yeah,
it's like it's all just. I hate how it's generated. It's like it's just click generation.
Yep.
Speaking,
which I didn't click.
I have a good clickbait story to tell you guys about.
On that. It might have been on that 15 Minutes of Shame documentary. They go into how like social media posts that include like certain words like despicable, abomination, such and such, have like a 15 to 20% more like click rate. And they talk about how like they'll look at you and like your friend group and like they're like, oh, okay, they all love DC. They're DC Comics fans. So like they'll put in Marvel smashes DC at the box office things like in your feed just to irritate you because they know you'll fucking click on it.
I guess it still works on people. I don't know. I thought we're beyond that. Like for me, it's like when things are obviously clickbait. I fucking scroll. I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not gonna click on your fucking clickbait bullshit. But I guess not everyone's that way.
Yeah, I think most aren't, and especially on Facebook because it's an older crowd.
So you know it's clickbait. I mean, you know it's gonna be shit.
Yeah,
stop it.
This is it's clickbait, but it's also blowing things out of proportion. So there was a deathmatch tournament in Georgia a couple weeks ago. IWA Deep South promotion I actually used to work with years ago when I had my ring. I'd rent them the ring, did the sound and music. I'm actually on fucking YouTube doing this shit for them.
The hills are alive.
Flex.
And
The promoter has gotten a horrible bad rap as a racist, and I can tell you firsthand that it's true. I, as a lifelong Alabama resident, learned new racist terms from this man.
Wow.
And he's, yeah. Anyways, so hardly anybody wants to go work for him. No big names went and worked this show. He did. It was outside. There was like nobody there. So the news comes out that Blaine Evans cut off John Rare's finger in the match. Cut off the finger. No one. Let me ask you guys a question. When I say someone cut off their finger, can you point on my finger where you think that cut might have taken place?
Like here?
Yeah, right about there. When you say cut off, in my mind, because I'm thinking mostly of industrial accidents, and I'm thinking like the tip of the finger.
So the nail was still there. He cut the tip of it. The other guy cut
that's
it
just
off
a meat
of
slicer.
Exactly, but it's still gross. But I'm not gonna say mainstream media, but big wrestling media, like this week in the news, it was
he's a
wrestler gets
quadriplegic
his
now.
finger cut off.
No,
and I've seen the picture of it. I got sent the picture. I'm like, oh, that's gross and that's dumb as fuck.
If you got your finger cut off, it's got to be at least one knuckle missing,
Right?
If not both.
There wasn't a knuckle missing,
or at least
it
the
was,
nail.
I'm pretty sure
nail
the
can't
nail was
be
still
there.
At that same show, a guy went up to the top of a rider truck to do a spot off and like chickened out, climbed back down the ladder, and had a seizure.
Wow.
Sounds like a shit show, bro.
It was a shit show, and it put a bad stain on the whole thing. But anyways, talking about blowing things out of proportion, that's what I was at with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But you got to blame the clickers and as much as the baiters.
Yes,
Because like if people stop fucking doing that shit, they wouldn't keep posting them.
It's true.
I agree.
Like, there's not that many Nigerian princes emailing me about gold anymore. You know,
it's weird, right?
Right?
Oh, speaking of scams of that nature, I got a call the other day. It said voicemail and was my phone number. I'm like, oh, I got to see what this is.
It's your own phone number.
Your Cash App account has been compromised. I don't even know if I have a Cash App. But these people are bad at their job because I pressed 1 to resolve these issues and nobody fucking answered.
They already know that no one's gonna.
Mine went to. I had one recently saying that I was going to be arrested for something, a CPR or something.
Prove it.
Yeah, but I could press
Comic book resources.
Yes, comic book resources were going to arrest me. I didn't cite them properly. But if I pressed 1, they could make it all go away. So of course I pressed 1. And then they needed my credit card information for some reason to not press charges. The Target Batman Year 2 statue cancellations. Have you heard anything about this?
Yeah.
So Todd McFarlane has this. It looks really good too. It's this Batman that is based on his work.
Yeah.
In a graveyard looking thing or on a church top. Like it looks classic McFarlane.
The
Batman.
the cape
going goes on for a million fucking miles
It's
as
the
you would
blue
expect.
cape.
It's beautiful. Statue went for pre-order on Target.
It's not it's an in-action figure.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's in his his toy line. It's not a statue per se, but it
Well,
will.
the same thing.
It will be.
Yeah. But anyway, a bunch of people's pre-orders.
I think everybody's.
Yeah. So I don't know shit about it other than it seems like I did a little bit of research. Target seems to be putting it on McFarlane.
And McFarlane is saying that he put out some sort of apology and then said that you will have another chance to buy this in the future. So I don't know if maybe it was supposed to be a Target exclusive and maybe the back end of that deal fell through. Who knows?
Yeah, it sucks. You know, and Target's not an easy fucking company to fucking deal with for collectibles anyway. And then for you to feel like you got in on a fucking order and then it get canceled, just fuck. Yeah, it sucks. All right, and then we had the DC Fandom stuff. So the Suicide Squad video game trailer. Did you watch that?
I did not watch that one. I did see stills from it and it looks good.
It's none of its gameplay, which is always alarming to me.
Yeah.
But it all is in good fun, like the spirit. And at the end of it, spoilers, there's like I guess Waller has something hooked up to Penguin, and Penguin's like walking away. Like you could reach out and grab him, and be like, come back here. And Harley like goes on the radio to Waller and is like, the penguin's in flight. And then you just see the like penguin like drop down, and then somebody else is like, "Oh, he's still running." It's like, like, "Oh, he's almost gotten away." Which looks great. I need to see some gameplay, but I'm probably in on this. And it's like, and I don't know why I thought it was just going to be them taking on Superman, but it's them taking on the whole Justice League.
Okay,
which is, you know what I mean, because they show them fighting Batman, Green Lantern. It's it's a fun, it's a fun concept.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't want to see it as a movie though.
Maybe. I'm not anti.
I thought it'd be too goofy for you in the movie form.
Yeah, but as long as it's told from the Suicide Squad perspective and the villains who are the Justice League in the story, right? As long as they seem scary and like real threats,
they are scary.
Yeah, for sure. As long as
not good guys, they're very scary.
What I mean is that as long as they don't seem goofy.
Oh, you know what I mean? They're serious.
Yes, then I'm good.
You know, there was an Avengers game that came out recently for next gen platforms that has been universally shit on.
Oh yeah, I own it.
Okay, well, I ended up watching some of the scenes the other day, and it's like, this seems like it would be really good. Like this, it was Tony and Steve like going to Wakanda to ask T'Challa for help, and the dialogue just.
The game
maybe the gameplay.
I own it. I gotta play it. I gotta crack the cellophane on that thing. Peacemaker trailer,
right? Yeah, it's that Suicide Squad.
Did you watch that one?
Are you gonna watch it? The movie?
Yeah.
So
you're gonna watch it.
It's a show. I'm gonna try my best. The trailer didn't.
People like the character a lot.
Yeah, the trailer didn't do anything for me.
I mean, it to me it established that he's going to be the same character that he was in the Suicide Squad film.
I guess I should say there was no hook for me. There was no like, oh shit, that's cool. It was just like him being goofy.
Well, the thing you got to keep in mind is the amount of vulnerability John Cena's allowing, because you can see him.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. That's a big change. It's a big change for him.
But he's going to be an ongoing character in the series, I assume.
Yeah, and fucking the dude is doing it. The Guardians dude is doing it. James Gunn.
Oh, really?
Because they say from the director of Guardians and Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
that would make sense continuity wise.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't have guessed that. I thought he would have been like, oh, I'll just move on to the next feature film. Yeah. But whatever. I mean, I liked
the project.
I liked what he did with Suicide Squad. So,
so hopefully it's the same.
Yeah.
What is this going to be on?
HBO Max, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's an HBO Max show.
Black Adam teaser. Mm-hmm. We don't get a whole lot. Did you see this at all?
I know of it.
They just show him like crouched down and a couple like worshipers kind of around him, and then he comes up and he's filled with power.
What do you think about the way they do this fandom thing with I mean, these 3 or 4 minute videos where it's 2 minutes of like the one for Black Adam. It seemed like it was the same shit they showed us last time, like some
this one actually had
stuff,
some,
and then there's some other scenes, but it's like 30 seconds. And he's like, look, this isn't really ready for the show. We're going to get something ready.
Yeah, I think it's cool. But I think it has to be viewed the way it is. Like this is like some super unfinished, super premature look at this shit. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, like, this one's going to be hard for me, man. This one's going to be hard for me to sign on to.
You've been saying that for a while.
And I'm just
like, you haven't changed your mind.
It's going to be like, I'm hoping.
Is it because
100%
Rock the Dwayne Johnson?
100%. Okay. It's like
it's a bonus, bro.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you.
Have you heard his new song? The Rock has a verse on
with Tech Nine. Yeah, that's awful. Also,
it's pretty not great.
Yeah. One man's trash is another man's treasure. To me, she's a fat bitch, and you call her precious. In the words of Royce the 5'9".
There you go. Is that what your music producer said?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I don't know. I thought it looked cool. I just worry about being able to take him even remotely serious. Like, I feel like his acting chops have got to go to such an extreme level to make me sign on. So I'm just saying it to be upfront. I may not give this a fair shake. My criticisms of him may not be fair. Because I do not like that motherfucker as anything other than him personally.
Well, I never liked. John Cena is a fine dude, but like, I never liked his acting. But I thought he did great as Peacemaker. So like, you know, there's maybe sometimes people can hit a role that's good for them.
I agree. That's
because I've seen John Cena in many things, and I've never thought it was great.
I agree with that too. Like Keanu is one. Like for me, that like I don't think he's great in much, but I have seen him in Constantine, and I thought he was pretty good in that. So like it's possible, but I never hated Keanu as an actor. You know, that's what the difference. It's like I fucking hate that motherfucker. I just think
you're the only one who hates The Rock, bro.
I know.
How can you hate The Rock? He's so lovable.
No, so that's the thing about it is whenever I see him in interviews and stuff, or I see like little social stuff he does, I'm like, yeah, he's a nice guy. That's a nice guy. But you know what? I'm a nice guy. But you know what I can't do? Play football. And if I ever get out there on the football field, they should be like, that motherfucker can't play football. You know, they should say that. But I'm a nice guy. I'm a likable guy. I do nice things for people. I'll hold a door extra for an older woman. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
He's Maui, though.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, the drawing fucking acted better. But I'm hoping that he sells it for me because I want, even though this DC EU is not the DC EU that I want, you know, in a post Snyder world, I want Snyder's world, but like, I want to like it. I want to support it. So I'm trying. But I really, really, really hate that motherfucker, man, as an actor.
But you didn't think you were gonna like the first movie, and you liked it, right?
Yeah. So,
it could be like that.
Yeah. But
you just have to really try to like go in with a clean bias.
I'm trying. I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying real hard. All right, and then
like if it's like a visceral reaction, like he steps on the screen,
that motherfucker.
You're not gonna have a good time.
That no talent hack. Which brings us to Shazam. Did you see that behind the scenes? It's more of like a behind the scenes bit. I mean, it looks cool, but like it looks.
Is this Shazam 2?
Yeah, Fury of the Gods.
Okay.
Gonna have
Sounds goofy.
It's gonna have him
Blank of the Blank,
and Blank of the Blank. It's gonna have the whole Marvel family, you know, in him fighting alongside
Iron
the
Man,
Avengers.
Captain.
No.
That'd be great.
They say that there's gonna be like a lot of mythical. A lot of it's gonna take place in Athens and Greece and stuff, which is cool because that kind of ties into their mythology with the gods and all that. And there's gonna be dragons and fucking gargoyles and mythological beasts and creatures. So I'm kind of up for that. There's 2 women characters that are the female villains. I'm not familiar with their characters in the comics, so I don't know shit about them. But one is Lucy Liu, and one is
what'd you point at Joe?
I know, right? Every time we talk about Asian people, he looks and points at me.
You know what's funny is I realized I did it, and then I said to myself, "Hang on, while you say the old white lady's name." But there's an old white lady, and she's in it too, and they're the 2 villains. But so I don't know shit about it. But my issue with Shazam is that he's a fucking idiot and he doesn't have the wisdom of Solomon. I want him to have the wisdom of Solomon. And if
the audience though,
so I don't know. Give us a chance. We know what he's like to be a fucking idiot. You know,
but people like idiots sometimes.
I guess so. God bless. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Then there was the Flash teaser. Did you see that?
I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know about the being a Flash thing.
So
I knew about all the other stuff. I didn't know it was a Flash thing.
Keaton narrates it, and he narrates the trailer.
Wow.
You get to see Batman from the back of his head, the back of the cowl, as it were, and then Flash says, "Are you in?" And then it kind of cuts to the symbol. You do get to see the updated Flash suit. It's like the rebirth suit that has like the yellow light kind of running through it. Looks cool though. Like it doesn't in my mind that's something that would be easy to look goofy. But it looks very natural and very cool in the footage that they only show it, I think, twice. And then they at the end they show like there's like a tarp over this like obvious Keaton Batmobile, and like he like Flash like pulls the tarp off, and as he pulls the tarp off, it goes to black, so you don't get to actually see it.
And it's just for Keaton Batman, bro.
And then you hear him say, "Oh shh," and then it like cuts off.
It was a great little teaser piece.
I think it did what it was supposed to do.
I mean, it told you the story that you know it was going to tell. And
yeah, I could care less for the Flash. I'm in it for Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's him touching his mom from the shoulder.
Whoa.
Well,
He touched
like on his,
me.
on it, you know, because he's got some real mom issues because of that situation that happened to him. Are you familiar with that?
No.
So it's pretty fucking awesome. So like, his mom died, was killed, and his father was booked for it and went to prison for it. That's why, like in the Snyder Cut, he's trying to, he's like still visiting.
Yes.
So his dad was actually charged with the murder of his mom.
But he knows that he didn't do it. The son knows that he didn't do it, obviously, because they have a good relationship.
Correct. But he doesn't, but he was a kid when it happened. It's only later that he realizes for sure that he didn't do it because he's chasing Zoom back through time and Zoom kills her. And it's like one of those deals.
So, okay.
You know what I mean? So like, it's
So I mean, I guess it gets resolved in the comics because if you know who did it, then
well, he knows, but he's still got to prove it. You know, Flash knows. Flash knows for sure.
right. Okay, I
but
would thought he would have made that a priority.
Yeah, well, he can't stop it. Like he can't. He's still like his priority is to stop it. You know, his priority. He's always trying to figure out how to go back in time and stop that moment, but he like always bumbles it somehow. And then he also like he ends up becoming the lightning bolt that hits him at one point. Like, there's a lot of cool shit that Jeff Johns did when he got a hold of Flash. But yeah, so like there's a woman at like a kitchen counter, and he's like reaching out to her, and I'm guessing that's his mom, which would be cool to see.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, the Batman trailer.
Oh yeah.
Thoughts on that?
I can't wait. And I'll be honest with you, I've said this before. If every year they want to put out a Batman, that's a different Batman, a different cast, I'm fucking fine with that.
I'll tell you this: I like the tone of this
It's dark as fuck, and I love it.
more than I like a post Snyder DCEU tone, where I feel like that's more of this. It's not full blown Marvel, but it's got Marvel tendencies. And I like the Batman tone better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm not crazy about. So I like it, and you see, it got the Snyder stamp of approval.
I didn't see that.
He sent out a
seen
screenshot
it?
of it. He sent just of the trailer,
Oh, okay.
and he just wrote underneath, "Crushed it," which feels good. Still, that he's like got some investment. You know, So I think it looks good. I'm super excited about it. I'm probably in for all the fucking bullshit and all the toys and the, you know what I mean, all the bullshit, right?
Hopefully somebody other than McFarlane comes with toys.
Well, I'm Hot Toys probably, or some Iron Studios stuff maybe. But I do have a criticism.
Okay.
And I'm just going to get it out. And this is only going off of 2 trailers.
Right.
I don't like the idea of Riddler completely covering his face.
Do you think maybe they're just not showing us things right now?
Maybe, but so DC Direct is back. Have you noticed that also?
No.
So they're back, and they put out 3 or 4 different statue reveals. And one of them is of the Riddler, and he's completely masked up.
Maybe they were
with like, it looks like it's like, you know, the duct tape. Like it looks like he's duct taped his face up. My issue with it,
It's Paul Dano playing that role, right?
I have no idea.
I think that's who's playing it.
My issue with it is that, you know, all of Batman's villains are nuts, right? The Riddler's nuts is that he is a complete fucking narcissist. So like he'll fuck around with the little like cheeky mask, but he would need you to see who he was. It would be important for him. Do you know what I mean? Like it's part of his psychosis. It's part of what makes him crazy.
So, I mean, obviously, in this world, he's not going to be wearing a green jumpsuit with question marks on it.
Unfortunately.
But I'm interested to see how they're telling the story.
when I'm jogging at night.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That was a good one. That was a good
Great, man.
So maybe they're telling it like actions speak a lot louder than words, you know, like,
Yeah.
well, maybe it's more of a, instead of you seeing me, you've seen what I've done. Oh, you're not reacting to what I did. You know?
Yeah. Maybe. Like I said,
Pride is in my.
it certainly
praise
doesn't
kind
mean
of
that
thing.
I'm out. You know, I'm in.
Yeah.
I can tell you I'm
I
already
don't know.
in.
Whoever's playing the Penguin,
That's Colin
is
Farrell.
that it is Colin Farrell, man.
Yeah.
That looks great.
And and that's the way the Penguin should be, just like a gangster.
Yeah.
You know, he's the only one of Batman's villains that's not nuts. You know, he's just in it for the buck. Mm-hmm. That's what makes him special in that world.
Buck, buck, buck.
He always got shot on because he's the Penguin.
Yeah, that's true too. And that's it. So last is just questions.
I still like Danny DeVito's Penguin, though.
I do too.
That was great.
But I do see it as like this reimagined like alt universe, like the Burton verse.
I would like to see more Batman shit in Burton verse, bro.
Yeah, well, you're going to get some. Some of these are long this week, as a heads up. But this is from the Good Minister, who we haven't heard from in some time.
Ooh.
But he said, what up? He also has a podcast, the Black Delegates podcast, so shout out to his pod. Nice. What's up, nerd herders? I know a bit of what it's like to be Bobby Skullface. Oh, Lord. God help you. All the recent hype about Squid Games on Netflix, so I decided to check it out. I hate it. I don't get the hype or why people care so much when there are smarter shows with a similar premise like Alice in Borderlands that nobody I know watched. So they shoot people with guns if they can't complete mundane kids' games within a certain time limit. Cool. Let me sign up for 10 hours of my life. The memes, the TikTok posts, the merch, it's all fucking coming. I don't get it. Oh man, it must suck to be Bobby. Joe, be sure to give me all your movie suggestions. Bobby hates them, but I seem to like most of them or all of them. Keep them coming, so to speak. So yeah, it does. It's dreadful.
I'm glad somebody likes my suggestions. Yeah. But I'm the same way with Squid Games. Like I enjoyed it enough, but like I try to enjoy things first of all when I watch things. Right. I'm in the mindset of I want to be entertained. I'm going to allow things pass.
I threw that fucking in, by the way, for emphasis. He didn't say fucking, just because I don't know how deep he takes his ministries. I don't want anybody to think he's like a fake minister out there not living his raps.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but I really didn't like the ending. I'm definitely not watching season 2, but I also don't regret watching it because I thought it was the journey was pretty
enjoyable.
Good. Yeah.
Next one is from Kevin S. He said, car shopping for dummies. What's up, Power Rangers? Just thought I'd clue you and your listeners into a hassle-free way to shop for a new vehicle after hearing your discussion. My wife and I both bought our vehicles with the help of Costco. They have a program where they have essentially pre-negotiated prices for different vehicles beforehand. So you go to a website, say whatever make and model you want, and they point you to a dealer. The dealer then shows you to a Costco price for whatever car you looked at, and you shake hands and sign papers, or you walk away.
I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Wow.
No haggling, no bullshit. Though they'll still try to get you with the add-ons and warranties. The firm price took most of the anxiety out of the process, and I think both times we were able to get out of there in a couple hours, which was mostly signing paperwork and waiting for the cars to get detailed, etc.
Nice.
This probably reads like I work for Costco, but I only spent 10 days there as a seasonal employee and then quit when I couldn't find parking before my shift on a Black Friday.
Wow.
That sounds about right.
Do they still sell vehicles on eBay? I remember when you used to be able to just buy a car on
eBay Motors is a huge thing, yeah.
Then we have one from Caleb D. Good day. Tell Joe to plug his ears. Power Rangers. So Chris brought up the auto-converting Optimis Prime and the question of why it's called converting and not transforming. So before I get into the rest of this email, I want to let you know I have been well educated on this past week due to our conversation last week.
I love that you're the point of contact for everything.
I bet you do.
Chris and I never know about this shit.
Maybe I got comments, I got DMs, I got emails, I got texts, I got it all. I could be way off base because I'm kind of stupid. Oh, well, welcome to the party. At least you're in good company. But apparently Hasbro has been using convert in place of transform for years now because Transformers is a registered trademark. I'm not a lawyer, just pulled this straight from Wiki. Anyway, I'm trying to think of a question, but I got nothing, so I'll just say you guys are awesome. I look forward to Thursdays because of you guys, so keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep listening. Thanks for reading. Thanks for responding. Till next time, take care.
Wow, that was a little on the nose.
Meta. So what most people have tended to write in and say is that it has to do with using a word over and over again, and then the word loses meaning.
Right. I've gathered that this week as well.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah. And
I also want to say it's not that serious to me either.
No.
Like, okay.
No. We just like to talk shit.
Yeah. So then Joe S. Hey, fellas, just want to help clarify about something from last episode. You want to guess what it's about?
Is it converting?
Okay. You were all talking about how the auto-transforming Optimus Prime uses convert.
I love it.
From several articles and sources I've seen, they're trying not to make the term Transformers too common where they could potentially lose the trademark for it. Google went through something similar years ago where people were using the word Google as a verb to describe online searching.
We're still doing that.
Apparently, in copyright trademark law, if a protected name like Google becomes so common for more than the intended name recognition, at that point, they would lose the rights to it and would be available to anyone. It sounded like Hasbro was concerned that using Transform or something similar could be detrimental to the brand and the future of being able to use the term Transform or Transformers. Thanks for the pod. I enjoy listening every week. I'm looking forward to see you all, minus Joe, since he won't be there at TFcon next week.
Nice.
All right. This is a long one.
More Transformers?
But it's the continuation from Shane G. First off, Bobby, your impression of this chick was maybe a little too spot on. Oh, yeah, you remember?
Yes, with him visiting his friend.
Yeah. So day one continues. My buddy decided to take me out to see some sights of the town. We went to a distillery and a couple of other local spots and ended up at a local bar to have a few drinks and shoot the shit and hang out. A beacon must have gone off at the house because no sooner than my drink hits the bar, she starts blowing his phone up. Darius, where the fuck are you right now? Are you fucking drinking? Fucking Darius? Are you fucking drinking, Darius? I hear him say, or saw him say, we will be back in a few. So we finish our drinks and leave. We get home and it starts. Why were you drinking so early? How much did you fucking have to drink? I know how y'all are when you drink. I held my tongue till the last statement. She was in his face, so I stepped between them. She took a step back and prepared another salvo of anger. My hand came up with my pointed finger extended and said in my calmest and sternest dad voice, Chris and Bobby know the vibes. That's enough. You don't know me at all. I don't know what you think you know about me or what issue you have with me, but we are going to clear this up before I leave. She storms off and spends the rest of the evening creating awkward moments every chance she gets. Awkward for her because by this point, I really don't give a shit anymore. Plus, you guys are drunk at like 10 a.m. Since I'm leaving on Wednesday, day 2, Tuesday, we decide having a barbecue, hot grill, cold drinks, good music, a recipe for confrontation. She spends most of the day avoiding eye contact and throwing out snide comments under her breath. Well, once dinner is over, I ask the question, what's your fucking problem with me? Normally, alcohol is a great truth serum. Not on this night. Not with this person. Her response was, I don't hate you. Okay? I'm just fucking jealous of the stories you guys have. Bullshit. So I asked one simple question. Little did I know this would change the course of everything. This man is your husband now. What we have as stories shouldn't matter to you because they are just stories. Why not focus on the stories and memories you were trying to create together? And with that, she got up and left, leaving me more confused than ever. So we decided to let it settle and see what happens. Wednesday, fresh cup of coffee, clean morning air, feeling good. She walks outside to the patio and sits. I'm sorry about the way I've been these last few days. Okay. Truth is, I've been anxious for this moment since he moved up here. All he fucking talks about was the bond you guys had and that he missed you and he doesn't even subscribe to my Snap. I added that last bit.
Okay.
I actually felt guilty about him moving here in the first place and causing that split and just didn't know what to do with all of that. It ended up coming out totally wrong and I'm sorry. So tell her I get it. I understand the anxiety because I felt that way myself. No hard feelings. Let's reboot, start over. I just hate the fact we got this cleared up and I got to head out. So in closing, it looks like I'm having a couple more guests to add to the list for Thanksgiving this year. So everything works out on this end. Oh, one more thing. Since I hit 40-year club this week, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Measure your teeth, man.
I just hit 42.
Yeah, you did. Happy birthday, Joe. Any advice for keeping my teeth from getting too long too fast? No, I just don't dwell on it.
Lotion and work out. That's why I tell everyone. It's like, people ask how you look so young. I'm like, I lotion and I work out. Not just your dick, your face and neck.
Work out your neck?
Well, lotion.
Oh.
All right. This is another
nice glaze on there.
This is another long one, but there are questions in this, I believe. This is from Andrew. Hello again, my fellow Power Rangers. This time, it is I who traveled to your area from the East Coast. I traveled to Baltimore last week. I tried to see the glimmer of sparkling LED lights from Bobby's diorama lights on the road. He found nothing. Let's see here. The reason I was traveling that way from South Carolina was to get to Long Island, New York for my uncle's funeral. I don't bring this up as some kind of sob story. It's going somewhere. My uncle is basically the sole reason I follow sports, especially baseball, and we're really close on a lot of things. Sorry for your loss, by the way. We very much lived and died by the New York Mets, and we had a fantastic ceremony and week for him with a lot of baseball imagery. He had an insane collection of baseball memorabilia, with by far his most prized possession being his lifelong passion, the baseball cards he collected for over 50 years. This was the only thing, memorabilia or otherwise, that he verbally willed out, which was to me and me alone. So saying it's a huge honor is an understatement. I do collect a couple different action figure, toy brands, etc., but baseball cards is something totally new to me. Although I'm very excited to look through what he had and reminisce, I know there was plenty of talk in various platforms about what you do or what you would do with your collection once you pass, but now I'm in a situation where I'm actively a custodian of someone's collection for the long haul.
Oh, yeah.
I know you all collect in different ways and different levels, and I'm sure you all have pieces or possessions given to you from someone who's passed that you hold on to fondly. Do you think as you grow older and your collections become more present over your kids' lives, sorry, Joe, do you think your collection will have a deeper meaning for them? Bobby has talked before about his daughters not being super into his collection in the past, but seeing the same pieces now mostly permanent over the rest of the upbringing, you wonder what nostalgia. Yeah, I got news for you. He said, all I can, while I'm looking at these cards myself, is think of the person he was, and it's hard to separate the two. Don't know how much discussion this will elicit, but it was, interested perspective, etc. As always, thank you for what you do. Yeah, I mean, I would love to say that, but it's just, I don't see it. I think, I don't see any of it. Honestly, I don't see my kids having any interest in any of it. I don't even think, I think it's possible in some weird world that they would each want, like Jaina might want a Jaina, and Selena might want a Catwoman, and the baby might want a Leia or a Wonder Woman, probably more so. But like they just don't give a shit about it. And I have this Batman animated statue. Like that was gifted to me by New York Mike. He's gone now. So like. That holds special, but it was special to me beforehand too. Right, so it's like, I don't.
What about this giant bobblehead?
Yeah, I'm willing that to Robert D. I'm gonna will my entire collection to sell to Robert D's kids to get money from my family. Yeah. I mean, I wish it was different. I wish we could. My kids and I could bond over this in some way. But it's just like that's not what the future is.
They like different shit. I mean, they like to collect their own. They like to collect stuff too, just not your shit.
Yeah, the baby and I bond over music. Mm-hmm. She comes and listens. Like she likes music. She plays music all the time in her room. Like Alexa, play Pop Smoke, or whatever. It's fucking crazy. I find her in there. It's like this most endearing thing to me. But like I find her in there. Like we'll be downstairs, I'll be playing music, and she'll be like, what's this guy's name? What's this song? And like the other day it was like Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, right? Oh. And then like later on I go upstairs, she's sleeping in her bed with her, she has the Alexa at the foot of her bed, and she's sleeping with her head at the foot of her bed so she can hear it down low, and it's fucking Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror playing. So like shit like that I'm bonding with her over, but that's the only thing I really bond with any of my kids really over is that,
Yeah. From a collecting standpoint, Mason still collects some stuff. Right. But the other two, it's all video games. They like, Charlie's got a shelf full of figures in his room that he hasn't touched in years. I mean, literally in probably a year or 2 years.
Virtual
so
goods,
they're just,
bro. Kids don't play with toys no more.
Nope.
Yeah. I've been wondering how awkward it'd be to like receive a collection or parts of a collection that you have no attachment to or like care about. Like if I got a shit ton of baseball cards, I'd be like, where am I going to put this, and how long do I have to hold on to this for?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds shitty, but like it's a real question.
No, I know exactly what you mean. If especially if it's like a huge collection.
Yeah, I mean, if it's overwhelming, you said the Mets were like their big bite. I mean, I'm sure there's a great shadow box you could put together of memories of the Mets with some of those cards,
or even taking the whole like the Mets team from the year that you were born, or the year you guys went to a game, or
right.
Because that is an interesting thing to think about. Is somebody leaves you a whole bunch of shit, and now you're responsible for it. But like I don't have room for your whole collection if you left it to me, right. or I don't. You don't have room for your collection.
Right. I mean, mine's it's already in totes, so we'll just bring it over.
Like whoever gets your collection, Bobby, is fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope she sells it. I just hope she sells it. Let's see. We got one from Waleed. He has a lot of questions here too, and they're all color coded.
Nice.
Wow.
So With collectibles I buy, I typically will transform, pose it once, and then put it on the shelf for display. The exception to this is that I have a 4-year-old, and I will take the figurines off the shelf. I have a 4-year-old, and I guess the 4-year-old and him will take the figurines off the shelf to mess around with them if the son requests. But when he was 2 years old, I handed him Masterpiece Grimlock's sword, and he proceeded to start whacking it against the edge of a desk while making swoosh sounds. Put a crack right through the translucent plastic. But I had to laugh and learn from this, even though I still supervise. He understands how things work in terms of different hinges, etc. With young kids of your own, have they been intrigued by your collection? Do you let them mess around with any of the figures? Have they broken anything? Do you have any boundaries? Etc.
My kids can play with whatever they want.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Same.
I mean, if to prove a point, one day I got 2 Hot Toys and put them in the floor. Said, Charlie, play with these. Do whatever you want. Yeah, Thanos and Hulk and just banging them together. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Flex.
same here. I mean, I
Well,
let
Bobby
him,
picks his own toys. So it's fine.
well, so my kids don't care. They don't care. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, they don't give a shit about playing with any of them, so it's not a big deal. I will say this, though, about the Grimlock translucent plastic. I mean, obviously, he said he smiled. He didn't get upset or anything about it. But, like, learning experience, et cetera. We got these hardwood floors, right, 2 years ago, 2019.
4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago. And on Christmas Day, we had a great Christmas. And Selena knocked something off of this the little Target black table that I have up there, and it fell down and it chipped the fucking floor. It only been there for a month, and she'd already managed to chip a piece of it. And I was fucking livid, right? But we ended up having a great Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. But that mark still 100% there. And I see it all the time. But now when I see it, I smile.
Yeah.
Because I remember that day,
memory.
and I remember when she was younger and a little bit more klutzy, and now I look at her and she's a little older and a little bit more mature, and I have this little weird, like, good-hearted feeling about this mark in my floor that was ruined a fucking $10,000 fucking floor.
Oh, and that me and Joe probably couldn't find if we looked for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So take to parents out there, take those things into consideration.
Yeah, it becomes a memory.
Yeah.
You probably only want to fix that spot at some
Right.
point.
Exactly. So number 2, I think with high-end collectibles, there comes a sense of indulgence in terms of purchasing a new necessity product of your own for your own gratification, so to speak. Have you found that your kids have come to have similar expectations? My wife and I have noticed our 4-year-old having increased expectations for being gifted on request and are looking to change this so that he develops a better sense of value.
Yeah, don't spoil your kids, bro.
Yeah. And he says, has any of your wives ever used your high-end collecting as leverage for their own indulgences? So I will say that my kids, Jaina just got a statue yesterday of one of these characters from Quintessential Quintuplets. Nino, I don't know, some Nataro, I don't know what the fuck.
Quinoa?
And it's number 2. It's the second one. It's the second girl, which I think is her favorite character, and she's going as it for Halloween, which we did Halloween pictures this week for the kids. And, it's very funny because Jane is like super embarrassed. But, so just reaching that point in her life where it's like she wants to, but she also doesn't want to.
Awkward.
Yeah. But anyway, so she, I've been she wants to review them. So I've been putting them up on Patreon, right? And people have been getting a kick out of them. And at any rate, she did one yesterday that I'm going to put up at some point. And I was watching it, and she's like pointing out there's it's a mold release line, but she's pointing it out like something's wrong here, and I know that comes from me, but at the same time she's super appreciative. She's not because it sounds like what he's concerned of is that they're like, this isn't good enough. I expect more, or she's very, first of all, she bought this with her own money, but when we give her something, she's very appreciative. There's a
It's
memory,
not like entitlement.
correct. There's a memory that springs to mind because just how I'm on my kids about that, about being grateful, about it's important to me, but respecting your shit, which you can't tell with the baby, but the other 2 are good. Jaina got super into Lock and Key on Netflix, right? Loved it. Couldn't get enough. So she got obsessed with keys, and she wanted keys, and it's Jaina, so she wants to know how keys work and understand how the things turn the notches and what unlocks the mechanism in the door, because she's a fucking insane person. So like, I went to Tyler, I believe, and because I can't remember whether I went to you as well, because I try not to trouble you, but like I think I went to Tyler just initially. I don't think I went to anybody else first, and I was like, hey man, I got this. I think I had this website, and I was like, I think I have to buy. Can you print these? He printed off a set of keys for her, right? And then I bought her a bunch of paint, and she was going to paint these keys. I gave it to her like on her birthday or something. But by this point, she had Selena all wrapped up in it too. Even though Selena had never seen the show, she's like wrapped up in the key hype around the house, right? And Selena was so jealous, right? She started crying, but you could just see her eyes welling up, and she just put on this huge smile and just said, Jaina, I'm so happy for you, while she's trying to fight back these tears of disappointment. And it broke my heart. But I was also proud of her, for keeping it together and not being a fucking brat about it, and understanding that she was having this emotional reaction, but she also needed to be happy for her sister, who was super into it. And it's her birthday. Yeah. And, so that's a little story I got to share. I don't know. Do you have anything?
Good kids.
My kids, it's all digital shit. I mean, they don't want. Mason buys his own shit, and like, they never like. I asked Charlie the other day. I was like, if we go to the store and buy you anything you want, what would you want? He's like, I don't know. Like, he doesn't want for anything.
Right.
He's like, I don't know. Give me $10 to put in my online account for whatever game I play.
Yeah.
It's just so strange to me, but
it's kind of good though.
It is,
but also a slippery slope. You can really spend a lot of money on digital goods.
Oh, absolutely.
Before you realize it, and it's just digital goods that you'll never actually tangibly have.
Yeah, but there's a whole conversation about
tangible.
Tangible is being valuable to our, like, my kids or your kids.
Yeah. I don't know. I will say my wife, she doesn't necessarily use my shit for excuses, for indulgences, for stuff. But I will say this. My wife handles the finances in the house, right? So when we had our big fight over the collectible shit back in like 2014, she gave me a credit card and said, this is yours. You're responsible for it, and it can't come out of the family budget. Cool. Understood. And that I was working overtime, because overtime didn't participate in the family budget. That was just my money. It's a TJ Maxx home goods credit card.
You don't shop there much, do you, Bob?
I'm going to clarify. I don't shop there, Chris, at all. But I definitely get rewards shit sent. So I would say that is her indulgence out of it. And like, she'll buy like, shit for parties or for the house or whatever. Kids for back to school. Whatever.
It's an interest rate. Yeah. She gets a little kickback.
Yeah, so I will say she's got that little hustle going on. I don't know if she knows that I know, but I know. Are any of you guys getting Fans Toys Fort Max? I'm getting the head.
But they're not. They didn't say they're definitely making the body though, right?
No, but I have an inside.
Are they gonna?
They're definitely trying to.
What if they revealed it at third party panel though?
They're actively trying.
I am not buying the head.
That would be the bomb. Because like, remember when Omega Supreme was revealed at the third party panel?
Yeah. So they've shown it. They have shown it, like a prototype. I mean, a CAD render. But like, my thing is like that thing. I'm not worried about the price, even though it's going to be between $1,200 and $1,500 would be my expectations. But like, the Cerebros alone is a hot toy, $230.
Right.
Also where my dentist appointment is. And I think that if it's going to be released in multiple, the amount that you're going to pay on shipping for it, all that shit sucks. But I'm okay with paying. My issue is that the logistical space, like, it's going to be 50 inches tall, which is like 4 foot and some change. I don't have that kind of
bigger than your kids, bro.
So yeah, I don't have that kind of space right now, for one. If I did have that kind of space, I'm not sure I would want to donate it to Fort Max.
Right.
I would rather donate it to Metroplex or Triptychon if I had to choose between the four.
Han and Carbonite.
Han and Carbonite,
There you go.
So no, I'm gonna get Cerebros. I don't know about probably not for Fort Max, but I'm sure Robert will get it, and then I'll take a look at it. Of course.
And put it in this closet.
Yeah, and then the fucking review will earn me $26, and it'll cost me $80 to fucking ship it to him.
Oh shit, the shipping.
Fuck. Yep. Have you guys seen?
You might as well drive up there; it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, you're right. This last one. Have you guys seen Another Life on Netflix? I've just binged season 2 a few days ago and thought it was profoundly better than season 1 with quite a decent conclusion. I thought the exploration of artificial intelligence, different alien species, interstellar travel, and human response to extraterrestrial threats was fascinating.
I'm aware of the show, but like I was not interested. It just sounds like a bunch of like there was another show I think called Future Tech or something where it's just basically a bunch of people talk about what if this happened. I'm like, well, I can do that with my bros.
Right.
We can just sit around and talk shit.
No, I'm not aware of that one.
Yeah,
it sounds kind of up my alley to be honest, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I'm not aware of it. I haven't seen anything. I don't know any. I don't even know if I've heard of it. But I'm just generally unimpressed with Netflix. So it's rare. But I did watch that Bob Ross documentary, and I quite enjoyed that.
Could have been shorter.
So maybe, but I'll tell you, it could have been probably. But it was a movie, and I didn't hate the extra information. Yeah. What I did find was fascinating, and not to take too much more time on the Bob Ross shit, but that I can't help but wonder. So the two people that signed him, it was a couple, Kowalski, it's like a Polish name, I can't remember, but like the two that signed him, basically, they're the ones that took everything from him also in the end, right? Mm-hmm. He had an affair with the wife.
Right.
And I can't help but wonder if that isn't a part of why they've done him so dirty. And if it isn't the husband on some like, man, fuck you forever. Right. Fuck you.
Makes sense.
You know, jealousy's a motherfucker. You know, and especially when the jealousy's fucking...
Someone's fucking your wife, bro. Come on.
Someone's fucking your wife. It's not like you're just jealous for no reason. Like, so I can't help but wonder that. And I think that's it. Does anybody... Oh, TFcon real quick. I'll be there this weekend.
I'll be there this weekend as well.
Come by the table. Check me out.
Look for the tallest guy in the room. Come say hi.
If you're going to be in the area Thursday, hit me up. You know, and maybe we can link up. Friday, I'll probably be booked up until Friday evening. And I think that's it.
Video? Is that still on?
Saturday night is my plan. Saturday evening. I got to find a location.
Yeah, and we'll put the bat signal out for that.
Yes.
I put a cursory hold for that evening for you with the Realm crew. So
I'd love to hear it.
Dankest spot in Baltimore, bro, and everyone show up.
Yeah.
Why don't we just
and then just film that?
Yeah.
Why don't we just wash some windows there in the corner?
Yeah. Well, there'll be so many. That's the thing. Is like you could do it because it would be just appalling. You know,
exactly.
Like it'd be like, what the fuck? You know, like you could get away with anything. You know, because you're gonna roll down to fucking whatever, like 50 deep, 100 deep, and just hang out. People be confused. You know, you get too confused to rob.
It's like when a bunch of fish swim together, so like the fucking shark doesn't know which one to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
So shout out to the rest of the cool table if you listen to this pod or don't and listen. Actually, no, you have to listen to this pod. You have to listen to this pod. You're part of this cool table as far as I'm concerned. And
you don't have to listen to any of the other ones though.
No, except for Enter the Realm only according to Chris, and only 8 weeks back days ago and or years ago, and Shadowcast not a thing anymore.
Is it still there? 8 weeks somewhere?
It's still in the ether.
You know what? I thought it was interesting. They're having a podcast panel at TFcon. And I barely heard of anybody. And the one guy I do know, they just started a Transformers podcast like 2 weeks ago, and he's already on the panel.
Yeah,
way to go, Deluxe.
Oh, is it?
It's a joke because they started a new Transformers podcast 2 weeks ago. And Deluxe
Are they on it? Are they on the panel?
Just Deluxe.
And
I've never even heard of the rest of the people.
Yeah,
are there that many Transformers podcasts?
I told
I guess so.
I won't ever do that again.
I watched it. I got to watch that live.
Ever do that again. Ever.
It's about the community during the pandemic. That's what the panel's about.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good idea for a panel. I don't know how these people I don't know who's on it, but I don't know how the fuck is Deluxe going to talk about community during the panel? You know what I mean? Like, that's not a slight on Deluxe. It's just me being like, truthful. Like, it makes sense for you guys because you guys get together 3-4 times a year usually before the pandemic. it makes sense for us because we have people together 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't have done it. I would have said no. It would have been a hard no. Capital N. I have very mixed feelings about TFcon.
As do I.
So, you know, I don't, and it's sometimes they do really right by me, and then sometimes they do really goofy ass shit to me, and I've been nothing but supportive to them.
Here's who's on the. Then this is the panel. It's when is this? Oh, this is Friday night at 8:00. It's
Prime time.
Yeah, how the pandemic brought us together as a community. So it's Rodimus Primal.
Oh, I know Rodimus Primal.
Patriot Prime.
I know Patriot Prime.
Bert the Stormtrooper. And Deluxe Baldwin.
I don't know Bert the Stormtrooper by that name anyway. Rodimus Primal has a pretty successful YouTube channel. And he's also, I think he's out of Jersey. He's a nice guy.
Sure.
And the Patriot Prime is a nice guy too. I didn't know that he was on a podcast. I don't think. I knew he had a YouTube channel.
Everyone has a podcast. Come on, who doesn't?
Yeah. I don't know. And then Deluxe is, Deluxe is Deluxe. But I'll tell you, Friday night. Look, if you want to go see the podcast panel,
the Realm's going to be at the bar.
Go to the podcast panel. But I'm telling you, Friday night and Saturday night are my even if the podcast panel was fantastic, I would turn them down on Friday night or Saturday night because it's the only time you can really hang out.
It's party time. I thought it was like
the bar looks
Sunday
beautiful
morning.
at this place. So
take that. Fucking podcast panel.
Parking is $30, just to let everybody know if you need to park at the hotel. So
yeah. But yeah, I'll be there. Chris will be there. Joe won't be there. I do miss the Halloween costume, to be honest with you. I do miss seeing a Halloween.
We just had to show that one year and flex on everybody.
No, you were there 2 years.
Yeah, no. But the first year we didn't know the vibes.
Oh.
We showed them the Kigurumis, and the second year, just okay.
Yeah.
But we showed with some real costumes.
But I tell you, both times you competed in very small circles, Joe. There's some very big circles now. Well, there was big circles. You showed up during when it got weird. Not when it got weird.
When it got small. When it was a reset time.
It was reset time. But
it was better for me. I
actually said that on Dummies. We have to have that conversation at some point about people. About being around large groups of people. Because like you used to say, I only take 1 day off a year, and that was to be around a large group of people.
Well, con, yeah. Depends.
Even that.
Yeah.
So we gotta get back to that conversation one day. But not today, because we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes. Shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team. I did it again. God, I don't know why. It's like, I'm never gonna stop because now I'm just reinforcing the habit every week.
Just like you can't stop looking and pointing at me when we talk about Asian people.
Can't stop, won't stop. I have another. I'll say it off air. Selena, I'll say it on air. Selena was talking about these people at school. She's like, I think they'd make a cute couple, and I was like, why? She's like,
Is she really?
Wow. And I was like, Selena, that's not a good reason. No. For those listening, she like tightened her eyes up a little bit. But you could tell she wasn't trying to say, she was thinking because they're Asian.
Yep.
And her face was reacting to her own thought.
Uncontrollably.
Yes. Anyway.
She's me and Krista.
Yeah. All right. And then, shout out to Dante the Destroyer. I wonder if I'll see him this weekend. I wonder if he's going to stop by. Shout out to Raul. I don't know if he's going to come to TFcon either. And shout out to, he handles our Instagram, Dante handles our Facebook. Phil is definitely going to be there. He does Twitter in our notes. And then shout out to everybody else who has contributed or helps behind the scenes. And with that,
Flappy Labias.
Tasty taint.
Tight Dick Player.